The world only moves for those who take control and force it to respect them. If you're not building, you're declining. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not winning, you're losing. Every man has two choices. Be the hunter or be the hunted. Be the man who writes the checks or the one who waits for payday. Success is not given, it's taken. Wealth is not stumbled upon, it's built brick by brick, with discipline and vision. The time for waiting is over. The time for hoping is gone. Now is the time to move, to build, to dominate. A man without money is a man without options. He settles for scraps instead of commanding the feast. The weak begin. The strong take. The poor complain. The rich strategize. The ones who hesitate get left behind. The ones who act become legends.
Hey, let's get into it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang.
And that's you.
For being in here, being involved, and being active on this YouTube channel. And welcome back to the Monday Night Rawski, the longest running episodic program and live stream here, who took about a year hiatus on YouTube. You in here with the Bruce Wayne of this ish, the King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth, yours truly, the Notorious One, aka Mr. Coach Alini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with none other than Hollywood CGA and EWF. That is every woman's fantasy. But you can call me CGA, God Allah, and you'll be in here with the 14-time demonetized champion of YouTube. We got a great show for you lined up today. We're gonna kick it and let's chill. For Monday night, we bringing back the double headers that made me legendary in this space. The double headers, the morning show and the evening show. It's been about a year since I went on hiatus from doing live streams 2 times a day, which I did live streams for almost 5 years running, twice a day, starting right during COVID, I believe. I think it was right during COVID when I went all in for double live streams. And for those who don't know, my evening show were the original live streams, and then I added the morning show, but the morning shows ended up being more highly attended, so that ended up becoming the main show. So I stopped doing 2 live streams a day after doing 5 years of live streams, somewhere around 2025 and early 2025. I think it was right before spring or summer, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to enjoy daylight savings time, or the end of daylight savings time. As you can see here on the West Coast, it's still light outside. On the East Coast and somewhere in the Central Time Zone and Mountain, probably still it's getting dark. So I was able to take some time off and enjoy life. And as you guys are seeing all on Instagram, and you'll soon see on YouTube, I've been enjoying life, traveling, going city to city, state to state, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, putting hands on hips and enjoying life. Now that's I've done that for about a year and a half and 2 years, and not having to do the double live streams, I'm now back locked in because I've experienced the world in many, many ways. And the flesh has experienced the world around the world. So now it's time to lock back in and give y'all some edutainment. But to contribute to today's show, $, the Notorious CGA on the cap. It is Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. PayPal is PayPal.me/Coach Greg Adams. And that is near the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel, when you can super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat on the Free Agent or the Coach Greg Adams channel. We're back here on the flagship, the main channel, which I've abandoned more or less over the last 5. Really, what year did it get demonetized? 2021. I think this channel got demonetized in 2021, and I've essentially abandoned it. Every now and then I'll pop in over here on the Coach Greg Adams channel and make myself known and visible. But this channel is pretty much abandoned in terms of consistent content. I always have dreams of bringing it back, but, being that it's demonetized for the last 5 years, what the hell? So we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun, but we'll just kick it. It's a very informal show, and we'll just have some fun, and you can contribute your voice to today's show. Anyway, we'll relax, get you into a nice little thing here, but we're doing Stream-a-Mania, brother. New Hollywood CGA is doing Stream-a-Mania all month, and my goal is to do a stream, 2 streams a day, except for Saturday, all this month. And we're looking to build up some of my channels and other platforms as well. We're going to be on the Ask Coach Greg Adams channel. If you want to go ahead and subscribe and go over there, it should be in the description box. The Ask Coach Greg Adams channel will get a couple of streams. My Twitch channel will get a couple of streams. I was monetized and qualified for monetization on Twitch after a 30-day consecutive Twitch campaign that I did last year. So we're monetized over there. We can go over there and hang out. We'll also be on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel and the Coach Greg Adams channel, and we'll be moving around. Okay. So anyway, we'll have a good time here. We got some good stuff, but the main event topic you see there's really no main event topic. I got a story about Ari Lennox, who I'd previously reported on. She's revealing that she thought that her accomplishment would attract her a high value man, but just resorted to that these men are intimidated by her success. And we're going to actually have you answer that question. Are men intimidated by women's success? That's crazy, huh? All right. And I didn't want these shows to be about men and women, but I thought that was an interesting conversation to have. But we got some funny ish coming up here and some motivational ish coming up here. All right, in today's show. And let me see if there's any earlier contributors to today's show before we get started. All right, shout out to you and Mr. Cartier. And he was super chatting at the end of the show. So I don't know if let me see here. This was at the end of the show. So that was, I think I read it. Yeah, I did read that at the end of the show. That's over there on the Ko-Fi. And normally during the evening show, yeah, we don't get many people early on. You guys are getting home from work and settling in and having a cigar or chilling, going to the gym, you're working out. So we'll matriculate the ball downfield relatively quickly here. That's what we'll do. That's what we do. We do that. But if there are no contributions, I'm not going to do the show. All right. That definitely is going to be the case. I'm not here for your pure adulteration entertainment here. I could be over here clapping some JUCO cheeks. All right. In this place. So that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let's get into this motivational part of the show for men who are looking to distinguish themselves from the classes of the normies, to get themselves into a prime position, to get to that boss up position. Maybe you want to join the monetized dating marketplace, whatever that is. You want to find yourself not in a position to have to negotiate with the fairer race of women, if you will, the fairer sex, and not have to deal with the lack of submission from today's modern women. We got an interesting topic today about how you might have to. The hardest part about growth isn't the work. It's realizing that some people only love the version of you that stayed the same. All right, listen to this. This is on the fuck you boss up section.
You better boss up, nigga.
All right. One of the fears of people who want to become successful or maybe a high earner is that you're going to disappoint the people who associate with you now. Okay. The people that you associate with now, you're going to lose them. And that's a fear. Even men have a fear that they're going to be used or targeted by a certain group of women because they are more successful, and they're going to lose contact with the women that actually probably would have been better for them. You know, there's a lot of fear in being successful. And we talk about this a lot on the Money Mindset, patreon.com/money mindset. We're going to show you 2 videos by 2 content creators, one named The Vibe Samurai and another content creator called Ant. Both of these people are talking about something that's pretty much on par, on the right track. We'll start off with the first one. It is The Vibe Samurai. He's been recently popping up in my algorithm. He says the person in the family who ends up doing the best has to do this. All right, has to do this. Let's listen to what he says.
The person in the family who ends up doing the best is usually the one who created some distance. And almost nobody wants to admit this, because in a lot of families, there's an unspoken agreement. Stay the same so we can stay comfortable together. The moment you start growing, that agreement breaks. And then it starts. You've changed. You think you're better than us. Money got to your head. But let's be honest. Most of the time, that's not criticism. It's everything around you trying to pull you back to who you used to be, because your growth exposes something uncomfortable. Maybe other people could have grown too. So what happens? More pressure, more guilt, more subtle ways to bring you back to who you used to be. And at some point, you're forced to choose. Go back to the version of you that fits the family, or create distance to protect the person you're becoming. And here's the part people get wrong. That distance isn't a lack of love. Sometimes it's the only way growth survives. Be honest. Have you felt this in your own family, or do you think this is just selfish? The person in the family who ends up doing the best is usually the one who created some distance.
You better boss up, nigga.
Okay, have you guys experienced this even in your own path to what you want to believe, that you want to become better? There's some people that are going to say, I didn't have to do this, and my family was 100% full on support mode with me, and we built together and this type of thing. But have you experienced this? This is an actual fact, because statistically, there's only going to be 1 or 2 people who so-called quote unquote make it out of any family. We're talking about extended family, cousins, nieces, and nephews. There's only going to be one person that makes it, becomes a success. When I say a success, we're talking about millionaires. There's not 2 or 3 or 4 people typically that are going to do that, although they're exception to the rules. The Lonzo Ball family, right? Those are exception to the rules, where they have 2 people and maybe 3 people that have become massive successes and millionaires, and that type of thing. But those people come from families that, you know, there might have been a main patriarch that drove people to that. Michael Jackson's family is another example of that, where several members became millionaires because there was a prime driver supporting the system or pushing the other people to become that. Serena Williams and the Williams sisters, those are exceptions to the rules, where 2 phenomenal sisters can be massive successes, and there was a prime driver, the father. Most of the time, that's you're going to get that. When there's no prime driver and it's one person trying to become successful and against all odds in the family, where the family is not as helpful, or there's no prime driver or a patriarch pushing you, and you're just trying to find a way. Typically, the case is you're going to have to separate yourself and create distance from that family, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, even in your family, that are not going to wish that you be successful. I'm not saying this in my own, I'm not using this as a testimony, but some people don't know what to do because they're not successful. Sometimes they try to copy and emulate you and say, well, one of my family members became a success in this particular endeavor. Maybe I can become successful at that too. But there's much more that goes into it than just copying them. Can't just copy them, because there's a lot of dedication and sacrifice and risk taking and investment, personal investment, that people are making in time, energy, money, and energy, attention, and time. So you do have to sometimes become distance from them, because they only see you as who you are now. If you become somebody different, which you will, and money should change you, if you become something different, they won't recognize who that person is and know how to deal with you. Neither will they know how to help you, or neither will they know how to ask you if you need help. So you do have to create distance from your family, and also even your friends. I know something's coming around the internet a lot around the internet where people are concerned about their social media, where they're saying their friends are haters if they don't engage in their social media posts. And I disagree. You do not have to depend on your friends and families, especially if you're pursuing social media, to engage in your posts to blow you up. In fact, I did the exact opposite. I noticed that when I was doing content, typical to the content you see me do on YouTube years ago, I started doing content like that on Facebook with my friends and family. Now I noticed that there were very few people that would engage in those type of posts or interact with them. They didn't really know or understand what I was doing. And they were like, what are you trying to become famous as a content creator? Which there was no money in it at the time, but they were like, oh, what is this? So they didn't interact as much. And I basically started my journey, what you see today, without friends and family. In fact, most of my friends and family didn't even know that I was doing it until I was at 50,000 subs on YouTube. So I went out to promote my content to strangers, not to friends, not telling them and threatening them that they should support me. I distanced myself from them and created my own content creation farm without the friends and family, to the point where now when the friends and family could come in or they discovered you, they were like, oh, wow, all right, you actually were able to get this to go without us. So there's also a sense of, oh, you're able to accomplish things without us. So, they may feel a certain way about that. But I had a lot of friends find me, right? A lot of people found me. I never told them to go see me. I never posted it on places where they were already subscribed to me on Instagram and Facebook. I built it outside of that and then use that, because the people who are going to celebrate you are going to be people who don't know you. The people who know you aren't going to celebrate you. So yes, you do have to create distance from people who know you, because as he said, they see you as you are, not as you want to become. This is an absolute 100% fact. So Jack, as you will. All right, we actually have another video here of a young brother. He seems to be in some sort of souped up supercar. He says the 5 people you have to cut off to get rich. All right, I'm rich, bitch. All right, I don't even have to say it. I can say this. I'm rich, bitch. All right. There it is. I'm rich, bitch. All right. So he says the 5 people you need to cut off to get rich.
This is the top 5 people you have to cut off if you want to get rich. I mean, at number 5, this is going to be your girlfriend. Now, I know people are going to disagree. They're going to be like, nah, bro, my girlfriend supports me towards my goals. She helps me work towards them, but it's all just cope. If you yourself are actually broke right now and you still have time for a girlfriend, you are literally just delaying yourself from getting rich. And if you do actually end up getting rich, you're going to break up and leave her anyway, because now you're going to be status max. So you're just delaying the inevitable. If you have a girlfriend and you want to get rich, get rid of her right now.
Okay, man, people are going to say no on that one, but I agree. Unless that girlfriend is super helpful and encouraging towards your goal, you got to get rid of them. Okay, this is the whole all men pay, because that person is going to sabotage you. That person is not going to be with, you're going to be like, hey, I need to be shooting vlogs. I need to be editing. They will not give a single solitary fuck. I'm telling you, bro. Even women that are involved in my life, I'll be like, I got to do this. I got to do that. And they be like, oh, you should be. Like, they don't get it. People do not get how much work it takes to go into content creation, the editing, the finding new information to discuss, researching, make sure you know and understand the topic before you present it, at least a basic understanding of it. The post-production, uploading, thumbnail creation. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it. They just think you pop on and pop off. And they're like, when you going to be done? So yes, your girlfriend got to go. This is 100% true. And also they'll let you waste your time. They'll mate guard you and suck you into hanging out with them. They won't encourage you. Don't you need to be editing? Don't you need to be doing this? Can I help you with editing? They won't do any of that. I'm telling you, 90% of girlfriends or spouses or boyfriends, they won't do any of that. Oh man, let me help you with editing. Shouldn't you be editing? Can I bring you water during your live stream? None of that. They just know that you took the time off. He would be live streaming, but he's hanging out with me today. Yo, they're going to discourage you from doing what you want to do. So he's right on that one. You got to get rid of the girl in order for you to be successful. You got to get rid of, I'm telling you, man, even your wife. If your wife is against you, You got to get rid of them. Please, brothers, get rid of your wife. If that's what you want to do, your wife is not going to encourage you to do it. Oh, you doing your little stream, huh? You out here doing your little stream. Here we go.
Coming in at number 4 is going to be every single one of your day ones. Now, there's not a single rich person that I've ever met that came up with their day ones or was successfully able to put them on after they got rich. Ooh. So you might as well just get rid of them now. And I mean, if you just take a look at the phone and the group chat that you're in, you literally know that you do not like these people and that you're going to be rich and that you are better than all of them. And they're just simply bums. So you might as well just get them out of your circle now so you can actually start ascending.
Who agrees with that? The day ones, we hear a lot of that specifically in hip hop culture, that your day ones are the ones that's gonna support you when you get up. But no, I agree with this guy. I disagree with the sentiment that your day ones are going to be the people that's going to pick you up. Most of the time it's going to be people that like the best way to, especially I think, let's just take content creation. The best way to build your audience is with people who do content. The best way to be like, that's why the Miami scene, particularly the Austin, Texas content creation scene and the Miami scene, the reason why a lot of those people move down there and become successful is because they move around content creators. Same thing in Los Angeles. They move around content creators that understand what content creation is, all right, or whatever success is. They understand that, and they're around each other and they help each other. So they help each other record, they help each other do this, they help each other find other people that are going to do the background work. That's the reason why those areas have a high percentage of content creator, because yes, they're like-minded. You're around like-minded people. So your day ones aren't going to be like-minded because you're going to tell them to hold the camera. Oh, nigga, you want to hold the camera in the middle of the party? Yes, I need you to hold the camera in the middle of the party. Oh man, this seems embarrassing. This seems like, come on, man. Why don't you just focus, man? We don't need to record and vlog this. Yeah, but you do need to record and vlog this, right? I need you to be on this. And so they won't do it. They don't want to record. They just like, man, just enjoy it. Just take a day off. So the best way to be around the best way to become successful is to be around like-minded people, not day ones. Day ones got to go. Day ones got to go. Get around like-minded people. Now, those like-minded people are going to be fake. All right. That's just what you're going to have to deal with. But your day ones aren't going to get you successful. This is typically the case. There's exceptions to the rule. Okay, here we go.
Coming in at number 3, this is going to be anybody that owns a Puffco smoking device. I didn't say anything about ZA, but if you literally spent $400 on the top of the line engineering bong to get fried, you are literally just cooked. Now, I still hit the Benjamin all the time, but I'm not a degenerate about it. I get all my work done. If you literally have a smoking tray next to your bedside table, you are just beyond cooked and going to burn in hell. Coming in at number...
Man, y'all don't want me to get in on these weed heads. Weed heads are losers. We heads are losers. We heads are losers. If you're now listen, that doesn't mean a weed head can't have a good job and bring in 6 figures and then go back and smoke his, you know what I mean, toka bowl. But yes, if you hang around weed heads, you're gonna be cooked. Okay, they are not gonna become successful unless you become a rapper. Okay, so unless y'all become a rap group, which we'll talk about here in a minute. All right, if you hanging around weed heads, you guys are not going to become successful. Your success is going to be behind scams and selling weed, and maybe we could open a dispensary and we can get a license. And there's going to be some bullshit. Every now and then, one might work out, but mostly you got to get rid of weed heads. All right, come on, man. All right, he's right again. I'm agreeing with them already. Let's see what the last 2 are.
2, this is going to be your entire family. Now, this might sound harsh, but if you just take a look at it for a second, they told you to go to college. They made you do shit you don't want to do. They have no idea about how to actually get rich. So you might as well just cut them off now, come up, and then come back into their lives and then buy your mom a house because they're not going to support you and they don't understand any of this internet money.
Okay, he's talking about internet money. I agree typically on this one, too. I do agree with the majority of what he's saying there because I actually have the sentiment that if you separate yourself and you happen to become successful, they're not going to typically celebrate you, but you don't need them to, but they're going to be right there where you left them. And he's right. The family members, you can come back to them, whether it takes you 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Trust me, they're going to be exactly where they were when you left to become successful. The likelihood that they all moved away and became successful while you was turning your back and not and responding to their Facebook messages. Okay. Yeah. This is the truth. They're going to be right there. All right. They're going to be right there where they are, and they're going to be doing the same goddamn thing. And you're going to be like, damn, they just sitting here. You haven't missed nothing. You haven't missed any drama, any conversations. You know, you might have missed a couple people who died, but this is the truth. He's right on that one. I agree. All right. So right now he's 4 out of 5. Let's see who the last one is here.
Shit. Now, coming in at number 1, I'm actually going to change it up a little bit and say these are the only people that you can keep in your life. And this is going to be all of your incel Discord online friends. And that's because they're actual real friends and you have no obligation towards these people. They're literally pixels on a screen. And these are people that will actually keep you grounded when you start coming up in money max. If you keep them in your life the entire time, it's really good because these are going to be the only people that can kind of bring you back to base level and watch your entire come up.
All right. So he said, keep your incel Discord friends, keep your internet friends, which I was making the point that yes, sometimes you have to be around like-minded people who understand you. So if you're a crypto bro, you got to be talking to crypto bros all the time. If you're a passport bro, you got to be talking to passport bros and collabing. If you're a content creator, you got to be amongst like-minded people. If you're successful and you're a white collar guy, you got to be around white collar guys all the time. You got to keep those people around, even though some of these people are not interesting friends. They're going to probably propel you to focus on what makes you successful. Somebody said here in the comment section, you forgot God. Oh, Lord. All right. Are you ready for that conversation right here? Are we keeping God or cutting him out? In my opinion, the cutting him out would be an important part right there for me. You might have to cut him out because leaning heavily on religious. All right. That's not going to make you wealthy unless you're just a scam preacher or something like that. All right. So I would say get rid of him too. All right. But come back. You can always repent. You can always repent. These Instagram whores are repenting. You can always have your sins washed away and be redeemed. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. Okay. I think that's it on that one. You better boss up here.
You better boss up, nigga.
You better boss up out here. Those are 2 interesting points here. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? We have a couple of early contributors to today's show. So let me acknowledge them since they've contributed. We have our brother, the Dictator, says night shows are back like Jordan wearing the 4-5. Shout out to you, man. Who's been around long enough to remember the night shows? I've made a name for myself doing the night streams. All right. This was my time slot. Well, wasn't not my exact time slot. All right. But I need some time in between 2 shows. So we're going to stream later in the evening. But yeah, man. My night shows are how I made a name for myself. I used to run the nights. I used to run Monday and Thursday night, and then I had a job and I had kids and all of that stuff. I was fighting a good fight. So regarding this, yes, brothers, I am back at night. It was only up until 2021 or 2020 that I started the evening show, and I had to stop. I had to stop my fitness training business that had taken a little bit of a hit because of the C-19 coof. All right, but yeah, man, I used to run the evening shows. I used to have the evening shows with all those researches and stuff. You can find some of those evening shows over on my Vimeo channel. But with that being said, let's get to some other contributors to today's show over on Ko-Fi. Kevin G says, word of advice, if your gordita is hairy, there's nothing worse than nutting on her back. It only exacerbates the hair growth. Trust me, you don't want to be smashing George the Animal Steel.
Oh, the humanity.
All right, shout out to you. The gordita with the hairy gordita. Busting seed on her back. That's an interesting conversation. All right. And QM says, you are the GOAT, CGA. Regarding Brandy, some women love putting themselves in dangerous situations only to cry victim 20 years later, despite everyone trying to talk sense into them. Here's a show idea. Gen A equals Gen A from Forrest Gump. Gen A equals Gen A. Gen Alpha will start taking, there will be a lot of content starting to be made about Gen Alpha over the next 3 or 4 years. So brace yourself. These kids are going to they're entering into their teenage years, a teenage love. And they're going to start making their impact on the generational content, on the generational conversation. And some of their quirks and some of their habits are people are going to start talking about them. And I think Gen Alpha is going to make Gen Z look like one shining moment. Speaking of one shining moment, we have Michigan up on UConn right now. But We thought Gen Z was bad. Wait till Gen Alpha starts maturing. But actually, check it out, man. I think you're right. I actually played a controversial video of a man talking about these scenarios about younger teenage women putting themselves in high risk scenarios with men who are particularly older. When I say older, and I'm not talking about 30, 40, and 50, these men are in their early 20s to mid 20s. And then later on, they'll cry and play the victim and say, well, this guy should have known and he should have turned it down. And, trust me, I've worked around women this age, and they're sometimes they hot in the ass. They hot in the ass. And so it's a hard conversation to have, but it is a conversation that people need to have. Sometimes they are the predators. Sometimes they think they're grown. Right. And there's something to be said about the development of the human brain and the human body. Puberty is an interesting thing. When people go through puberty, there's a lot of confusion that goes on because the body starts to develop and takes on adult characteristics. Some people develop way earlier than, their puberty, they hit puberty at 10 or 11. So when their body starts to develop into what people consider early adulthood, the mind tricks them and believes that they're grown. Okay, I'm grown. Sometimes people are late bloomers, and then they have those tough years between 11 and 17, 11 and 18 for young people is tough because some people don't develop. Some people don't hit puberty, or they hit puberty late. And these are the late bloomers, or the swan, the black swan, where the woman was like, oh, I didn't really feel like a woman because she had a flat chest. And the big titty girls in middle school, they were way ahead of the game. They started being involved in boys, sometimes older boys, going outside, staying out late, running in the alleys because of this. And the mind tricks them. A lot of these young people, unfortunately, do engage in sexual activity with other young people, and it causes a problem. It causes a problem across the board because they're not mentally ready. This is something that people have a hard time discussing. I don't, because they want to make me feel weird about it. But I'm like, you better discuss it, because it does happen. And we know certain groups and demographics of people based on statistics. These people who develop earlier, they tend to be promiscuous earlier, particularly Mexicans and black people. Okay. Mexicans and blacks. All right. Male and female. Those two people, that Mexican nigga, he like 13 with a mustache. He got that little crush dash on his lips. Edgar. All right, that dude right there, he can fix a car. He can make some churros, and he also can get women pregnant. He early on in the game. All right, he early on in the game. He carried a switchblade. He was super duper cool, and he had a no peachy folder folded in his back pocket. Okay, so that's an example of kids who mature earlier on the male side, who tend to take on adult responsibilities. They tend to commit crimes and roll with older young adults, and tend to do more promiscuous things. Particularly Mexican women or Latino women tend to develop earlier, and then guess what happens? What ensues? Their first engagement in sex tends to lead. They tend to lead in the first engagement of sex because they tend to be overdeveloped. What about black women? Black women tend to be overdeveloped, all right, at a younger age. So that does lead them to be hot in the ass and want to go outside and at nightclubs. All right, black men tend to be early developers. All right, they tend to grow. You ever see black dudes? They'll be like, they look like they're 32, but they'll be 16. Right? And then the police will be hemming him up, and he'll be acting completely immature, but he's 6'2" with muscles and an early growing beard. All right, and a receding hairline, about to be drafted into the NBA, but he's 17. How many NBA draft picks have been drafted at 17 and 18 that have been black men? The majority have. The guy for the Dallas Mavericks recently is an exception to the rule. Cooper Flag. But most of these dudes develop earlier, and what do? They engage in high risk sexual activity very early. All right. And that is an early part of puberty. That's the confusion that ensues with early development. Now take white people. White people, men and women, tend to develop later. All right. You'll have white women, skinny white women. They'll be skinny like that till 17 and 18. No titties. They the only time white women gonna get titties with and be early developing is when she gets titty implants and when she graduates or becomes 16 or 18. All right. Them women tend to develop late in puberty. Puberty hits them late. They don't get their period until late. Not 10, not 9, not 11. Them white women don't get puberties and hit periods until 16, 15 and 16. So they tend to develop later. And what that does is they don't engage in that high risk sexual activity as much as like if you look at the statistics related to that, they tend to start later. All right. They don't start at 12, 13, and 14. They might start at 14, 15, and 16, right? Because of that late development. The only exception to this are fat white women. They end up being curvier when they're young, but then they end up being fat very relatively soon because, they engage in alcoholism and drugs because they were early developers. They hung around the basketball team. They got ran through, and then maybe their lifestyle, by the time they hit 20, they're already fat. Right? They're already fat and overweight and a pog. So there is a lot of this going on. Asian women tend to fall in the late blooming development. And as a result, they have a certain way they work as well. All right. They tend to focus on studies, tend to focus on career and job because they're late bloomers. I mean, I was in the Philippines with a whole woman that was 23 years old and she was 4'7". She didn't look 23. Right. People were looking at us like, you came down to the Philippines and boy, we're going to have to turn you in because she looked young. Greg Fu young. So with that being said, they have these characteristics that do attract older men because, well, they look young and they look young for longer. All right. They'll be 40, 45 years old and still look young because of these late developers, right? Late developing. But this does happen. It does happen with that. But as a result of that, what happens is because you're an early developer, early bloomer, or your culture encourages early onset of activities based on dynamic sexually, what'll happen is these people will put themselves in bad situations only to complain about it later or to be therapized for 20 and 30 years based on conducting themselves in this way. So it's a hard conversation to have without becoming, very weird about it, but it does happen. But what we want to do is prevent men and women from experiencing this, right? Experiencing these traumas. Indeed. Shout out to our brother here. See, there's a guy right here. This is so weird. Again, this is why you can't have conversations because then people say it's weird. Okay, well, listen, what I'm telling you is biological truth. Okay, we're talking about biology here. And because you're weird about it based on your religious upbringing or you're uncomfortable about it because you're immature, then what happens is people keep running into the same problem. Okay, then people want to explain the aftermath. You want to explain the aftermath. Well, we're already in trouble. Instead of dealing with it head on and having the conversation, then people just say, oh, I'm uncomfortable. It's weird. No, it's not weird. This is basic sexual biology. Right? This is sexual biology. This is what you should have gotten in your early middle school years. But because the Christians thought this was hedonist activities, you didn't get this lesson. Yes, your Christian church prevented your school from educating you sexually. Yes, they did. The Christian church. They're the leaders of having you, because what they want to do is have you have blinders. Just don't have premarital sex. The Christian church forced the public school not to give you sexual education, and now you think it's weird. But that's you. It ain't me. I'm comfortable having this conversation. You, ecclesiastical Christian, are not comfortable having this conversation. Well, that's what happens when you believe in a zombie ghost that's supposed to have come back 2 days ago. Hey, that's your shit. It ain't mine. Hey, don't bring your fucking thing, your uncomfortableness. Don't bring the fact that your uncomfortableness because you believe in a zombie ghost. All right. And then you went and had Easter candy yesterday. Hey, listen, that's your fucking problem. Don't make it mine. All right. He says you have to explain it at this age. Yes, it's weird that you have to explain it at this age. Well, listen, I'm the teacher. It is what it is. I have to explain people. All right. But y'all was out here praising the zombie the other day. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, we're pissing people off and then running around chasing a fertility bunny. By the way, Easter is the ushering in of spring, and the rabbit represents fertility, which, rabbits fuck and they overfuck. And so that's what you were celebrating, but they threw the zombie ghost in there, the zombie sky daddy in there to throw it off. All right. But that's all right, to throw it off. But we're really springing forward, Springing forward is an exercising of fertility. The rapid represents fertility, and we're going forward so you guys can have good weather, so you can fuck and get naked. All right, but that's what we're doing. But, you know, since we're religious, we have to have a zombie sky daddy in there to fuck the whole shit up. So confuse us a little bit. But what we were celebrating is the season of fertility. That's what we're, and what happens in the season of fertility? Well, winter goes away. We start to shed our clothes, reveal our skin, and we get horny. And that we want to fuck. All right. So this is why the evening show will be legendary. You're getting a rare CGA. You don't get the morning CGA because I'm so busy trying to get the skits in and get the segments in. You're getting some real hard-hitting facts and information. Spring forward. That means to procreate forward. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? The night shift. Shout out to our brother Iggy. The real Rich Miles says the night shift returns. CGA proving once again he is the hardest working man in YouTube business. Welcome back home. Good to see you refreshed and ready to rock after your successful lean tour. Go get them, Hollywood. Shout out to you.
New world
We in here. We in here. We here, man. Iggy, I'm back in here, rock, ready to go, locked in. Shout out to No Government Name, SD. Shout out to you over on the Venmo. We having a party. We having some fun. And we're offending people, too. Equal opportunity offender. Since the Christians are calling me gay now. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I got a stalker out here, man. He really pissed off. All right. He out here stalking me. He out here doing some wild shit. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Shout out to Larry C says, hey, coach, as I get older, I'm finding it harder to explain puns to the kleptomaniacs. They just always take things literally. Take me out with the here's William. Shout out to the coach gang in the Shield. Where's our William?
Here's William.
Shout out to you. They keep taking things literally. It's hard to explain things who take things literally. Miles C says, coach, isn't it funny when you were trying to be the good guy and play house and be a good husband, they used you. Now when you could care less where she gets the D, now she wants to backdoor relationship you. People are fake as hell. This is the whole confusion of young men about, again, sexual dynamics. Women like dangerous guys. They like to, like, women are hoes too. Women like guys that they shouldn't like. They choose these guys. But when you were trying to be the good guy and play house, and when you get used and abused and they take you for your money and they just make you out to be a utility, they force you to stay over there. Oh, you do it. You keep doing that. Only when you realize, oh, I'm getting played and finessed, then you say, I could care less. One thing that you could use against women, I don't care who you fuck, dude, you can do what you want to do. For some reason, they'll be like, but I don't want to do it. I want to just be with you. I want to get it from you every day. I'm like, but I don't want it from you every day. Go get it from somebody else. No. But if you are going to exercise any amount of control on a woman and you start saying, I know you talking to other men. I know you sleeping around. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then she be sleeping around the whole time. Why don't you trust me? So I've understood generally that when you don't care about what they do, for some reason that attracts them. When you care what they do, it repels them. It chases them, dude. It chases them away. It makes them want to rebel. This is generally true. We don't want to hear about exception to the rule. We don't want to hear, well, there's some good women that don't qualify. For some reason, that's how it works. And I'm just in the acceptance phase of human nature. That's what it was. And I even practice that now. Some women that I try to exercise any level of control, they run. They do it. They hide. They lie. They do wild shit. The women that I don't care about contact me all the time. They say, hey, daddy. They want to come through, hang out. It ain't about the money, right? They don't really care about that. They just want to have a good time. And the thing that you have to understand is women will say no. They'll deny it. But if you look at their history, that was the case. I don't know what to tell you. Competition anxiety. Women are attracted to men that get women. Initially, they'll say, ill. I would never date a guy like that. May that love never find me. Guess what? They'll have them legs cocked open for that guy first chance you get. And we learned this in high school where the nerd girl, the girl that you thought she wasn't like these hoes. Who can tell you a story about when you found out the nerdy girl fucked the dude that was the star on the football team or basketball or wrestling or baseball, and you were shocked? Press 1 in the chat from your high school or college days where you found that out and you were flabbergasted, right? Because you knew he was messing around, and she wasn't the type of woman that he would brag about smashing. Because he bragged about smashing the hotties and the baddies. He never bragged about smashing regular degulars. And you were just chilling, and you found out, and he was like, he smashed Lauren, and you was like, what? And then you smashed Lauren, you smashed Devontae? Lauren, you smashed Devontae? Well, and Lauren was the one that said, oh, I don't like Devontae. Oh, he's so nasty. He probably got a dirty dick. And Lauren smashed Devontae, and you'd be like, what? And he was digging out her guts. You seen the nigga driving Lauren car around the high school campus for lunch, and you're like, what? In the bushes, you sit there like, wait a minute. And then when you see that, you realize the game is fucked up. You realize the game is really rigged because Lauren been getting her guts dug out by that particular guy, but she been talking shit about him. I can't stand him. He's so nasty. I don't know what girls see about him. And then you find out she getting dug out by Devontae. You like, what? Or get knocked up, pregnant, or catch an STI. And you sitting there like, from that day forward, you should have learned your lesson. You should have learned, but we still trying to find the exception to the rule. It happens all the time. All the time. You cannot deny it, and you do have to just accept it. It's what it is. When men demonstrate that they can get women, he gets abundance of women. And most women will just sacrifice themselves. They won't try to prove themselves to that guy. They'll just lay down and say, I got the golden vajayjay. You should try mine out. Now, not all women will do that, but don't be surprised that the guys that get access to women, other women are attracted to that guy for some reason. Same thing is when a man is committed. A man commits, he has a wife. Typically, women want to be around him and talk to him and see and test his gangster. As opposed to you're a single guy and you're walking in desperate, looking for attention. The women can see that. Okay, he ain't got no hoes. Yo, the tutor. Yeah, I was just tutoring him and I didn't really like him, but he needed some help. And, you find out she started doing his homework and then he was jibbing them guts. And then she keep tutoring him and he was just rolling over there. And the tutoring session was her doing the homework and getting fucked in the intermissions. So it happens all the time. And that's one thing you just going to have to understand about human nature, at least for the first 20 or 30 years, maybe into our 40s, that is the case. It is what it is, brothers. I can't, pre-selection, social proof. I have my situation going on. I'm putting videos out of other women and other women are contacting me. More women are following me on Instagram based on me posting those videos with other women. And the women in the videos are commenting saying, oh, it's my turn. I'm up in the video now. They're like, CGA, I love you, daddy. They just saw me post several videos of other women. They don't care. When am I going to see you again? When is it my turn? Bruh, I can't help you with this. I'm not here to try to figure out how to change it. It's what it is. They like, oh, you out here tricking and showing women good times? Let's do it. All right. Maybe I can get in line. I'll do it. It's not. If you want to fight it, fight it. All right. If you want to be mad about it and red pill rage about it. But it is the truth. It is the truth, and there's nothing you can do about it. Biology and nature is biology and nature. Okay, I think I got some other brothers that I need to acknowledge over here on the Ko-Fi before we get restarted. It's Tonio Ocasio over here. He said, did you hear about the Moreno Valley fires? I haven't. He says, everybody has to be evacuated last Friday. These billionaires want us replaced with robots so badly. The reason why the truth is coming out is because it is from evil. Good is a lie. Evil is truth. Sorry for the realities, brothers. Sorry. What's real and real. Good is a lie. Evil is the truth. In fact, there's no morality out here, guys. The moral people don't have a chance. But I didn't know anything about the Moreno Valley fires, but I have smelled fires lately since I was in Vegas. I actually, this morning when I was outside, I was like, it smells like fire. All right. I think it was after the morning stream. I was like, it smells like fire. So maybe that's creeping over here. It does tend to creep over distance wise. But you're saying they're trying to replace people, all right, and make them homeless. Ocasio over here with the conspiracy theories. It's okay.
New world order.
We like it. Shout out to the initial says, what's up, coach? Welcome back, fam. I'm listening to the night shift right now while working on my content creation. Like you said, it ain't easy, but it's worth it in the end. He says, gonna let loose the dead weight free agent lifestyle for life. Okay. Gentlemen, content creation just is, if you want to join my money mindset, patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams, we talk about content creation. A lot of people will see a content creator become successful and they will think that, and I heard a content creator talking about this on Shannon Sharp show, and he's a comedian and I recognize his face. I want to say his name is Mojo. All right. So shout out to him. If that's his name, he's a comedian. People will think that you came out of nowhere and you got rich and content creation is easy and you just started a podcast and grabbed some mic equipment and became famous. That's not how it is, dude. You have to chip away for years before you even hit your strides and go viral. And they don't see that work. They don't see the work you put in and the investment that you put in. And it took years, and they think you just popped off, started the content creation, and a week later you went viral and you start making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not true. I've been doing this for years. My first upload on YouTube was in 2009. I wasn't doing it consistently, but it was in 2009. So if you take that was my first start at it. And then look at me now. I'm here in 2026. So it wasn't an overnight success. It was an understanding of how it worked. And if you take that window and go, oh, it took him from 2009 to 2026. Yeah, that's a long time putting up with what it takes to get in this part of it. And if it was so easy, everybody could do it. If it's so easy, everybody can do it. Mojo Brooks is what you guys are saying his name is. Shout out to him. He's a comedian. I see his stuff, his skits. I've seen his skits on social media over the last 4 or 5 years. But if it was easy, everybody can do it. But when people start to try to do it, guess what? They find out it's real work and they quit. Press 1 in the chat if you've ever done it. And you're like, damn, this is harder than I thought. Just getting the upload right, putting the thumbnail and having the thumbnail. Okay, it's a mess. So let's get into this part of the show here. It's kind of straggling Sniggle Theater, but we're going to have some fun here. We have the UCLA Bruins, UCL week, as I call it. UCLA Bruins, women's basketball. You guys know I was a women's basketball coach. Shout out to them. Women's basketball, the UCLA is a sleeping giant program. One of these programs that's been around for 30, 40 years, and it's never won an NCAA Division I national championship. They finally won a national championship, their first, after I believe they lost in the finals last year. They beat South Carolina very handily, and Dawn Staley, Dawn Staley was going to get crowned yesterday, and she got whacked over the head. And UCLA runs away with it and wins the national championship. So shout out to UCL week and everybody in Westwood for winning the first women's basketball national championship. It's hard for even West Coast programs to even win national championships on the men's and women's side. There hasn't been a men's West Coast national champion since Arizona in, I believe, 1997. It's been almost 30 years since a West Coast team has won on the men's side. But UCLA, no disrespect, is a women's team. I believe that's one of the first West Coast teams to win a national championship on the women's side. Stanford. I thought, no disrespect to Stanford, but UCL week has won a national championship. So let's give some shout out to the UCLA Bruins for winning a national championship. And as means to celebrate, I'm going to play this right here. It's Betts' sister, Mookie Betts' sister, plays on the team. Betts sisters. All right, no, it's not Mookie Betts' sisters, but maybe they're related to Mookie Betts. It's possible. Yaquez, the basketball player from UCLA, he now plays in the NBA. His sister is on the team too. But the Betts sisters right here reacts to each other's highlights. Let's take a look or a listen in to the UCLA women's team members reacting to their highlights. Okay, what do you think about this right here? Look at these beautiful women. All right, hold on for a second. These beautiful women here. I like prefer the one at the bottom of the screen. But let's hear. The one at the top of the screen is a really relatively tall woman. I believe she's about 6'5" or 6'7" or something like that. Let's hear this particular video here. Here we go.
She's there with a block.
Okay. Oh, I'm surprised she didn't keep. She passed it. A body. Period. It's my move, but that's nice. It's nice. Spin. Oh, fade. Yep. Fade. There it is. A. Good layup, Kiki. Good one. Come on, defense. Okay, slide. Give me that. Look at you guarding a guard. Period. Please do the one where she dribbles around. Chase, 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 chase. Where are you going? Nice. Good pass, Lauren. Good rebound, Lauren. Over.
What the hell? Oh my God! No way!
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Hey, what going on here, bro? I've been out of women's basketball for a minute. I used to be a women's basketball coach. I've been out of the game since 2012, and I really haven't kept track of what's going on here. So I'm a little bit lost and confused as to what I'm looking at or listening to. But anybody, what in the world? Hold on for a second. Where is my Ayo chill? I'm looking for it right here, but I done lost the timing here. The comedic timing is gone. What in the world is? What the hell? Oh my God! No way! Whoa! I mean, the woman that I thought was the better looking one has the deeper voice. Woo! Woo! My Lord, this don't even look like this matching up with the voices. They don't even match in the voices here. This is incredible.
Gianna's head. Hey, she's about to get amazing love from her sister through 4 people.
What?
Way to keep the ball. You scored through 4 people there. That's actually crazy. Like, can I go back? There's literally 4. There's 3 people coming to you. About to be 4. That's crazy. 4 people.
Oh my Lord, man. Oh man, this is brand new. Oh my God, no way. All right.
Hey, yo, chill, son. Hey, yo.
I see why they won handily the national championship. I see why they won the national championship. It's now making sense. Shout out to the UCLA Bruins here. I mean, she a little thicky right there. Whoa. I mean, maybe I shouldn't compliment. Maybe I shouldn't talk about.
Good job.
Specs is there with a block.
Okay. Oh, I'm surprised she didn't keep. She passed it. A body. Period. It's my move, but that's nice. It's nice. Spin. Oh, fade. Yep. Fade. There it is. A. Good layup, Kiki. Good one. Come on, defense. Okay, slide. Give me that. Look at you guarding a guard. Period. Please do the one where she dribbles around. Chase, 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 chase. Where are you going? Nice. Good pass, Lauren. Good rebound, Lauren. Over Gianna's head. Hey, one. She's about to get amazing love from her sister through 4 people. Way to keep the ball. You scored through 4 people there. That's actually crazy. Like, can I go back? There's literally 4. There's 3 people coming to you. About to be 4.
I present to you the national champion UCLA Bruins. Let's give them a round of applause here. The national champions UCLA Bruins. I'm assuming it's the women's national championship team that we're talking about. Jim Herrick, anybody? Steve Lappin. Anyway. Oh man, I better go checking what they're doing over here. I've been out of the game for a little bit. All right, put me back in the game. Okay, we got this one right here. We got a late night activities in Las Vegas. Let's take a look at what's going on here. You guys worry about men tricking and shit like this. This seems to be a topic of conversation with your future girlfriends. We got some pimping going on here, right there. We got a man right here. Let's take a look here. We got a dude running game, spitting. As you can see here, this is Las Vegas. This is the Strip or near the Strip. And possibly, is this the Strip? This might be Fremont. It looks like the Strip, possibly. But one thing you'll understand is this is late night. All right, we're talking about possibly 3, 4 in the morning. So let's take a look here because you can see there's not that many people on the street. But here we go. And there's Caesar's Palace.
Couples night, strip club.
Oh,
family night.
So you guys don't like TV?
Okay. All right, so take a look at what we got here. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, we got some young, fresh and green. And yes, that's a working girl for sure. And the hating going on here. I don't understand why these men can't mind their own business. All right, the man just trying to get him some young poon out there. Talking about some family night. You out here with your granddaughter. We know what he out here for. He running to the CVS to go get him some condoms and lube. All right, he done scored him a deal, $150 on the table. All right, and he got some money, some chips that he done won over there on the roulette wheel. All right, and he trying to take something out here back to Caesar's Palace. All right.
Couples night, strip club.
Couples night, strip club. Man, mind your own business, nigga. Mind your own business. Let me get out here. Look, here's the deal, man. These broke ass niggas sitting on the sideline hating from outside the club. This is hate. This is pure hate. This is broke nigga hate. Let that old man do what he doing with that young tender. Okay? He done picked her up off the carpet. He done made him a deal. He going to CVS to get him some condoms. You know what time it is. It's Boss Vegas, bruh. Let him go. He got some money in his pocket. He done worked hard. He done left the wife at home. Let him have his time. See, this is what you have to understand about this conversation about tricking. These are the hating ass niggas out here that can't afford no punani. He can't afford the 150 to 200. He can't afford the 200 to 400. And he got to hate outside and expose people on the internet. Let him go get and knock the Mario coins out of that skinny mini. Let him do what he have to do, bro. Hey, man, he done won some money on blackjack table. Let him go over there and get him some lube and some condoms from the CVS and let him take her back to the hotel suite and knock the Mario coins out of that young lady. That's what her job is. This is hate. This is unadulterated hate. Okay? This is unadulterated hate. I don't like this, bro. But I'm playing it. But this is where
family night.
Why you hating, bro? Let this man win. He won. He got him a night creeper. Hope you don't get trick rolled. All right, protect yourself out here. This is the hate that I'm talking about, bro. Then they want to call him a trick and he had to buy. Yeah, he had to buy. He can afford to buy. There he is. And there he is, bro. Hey, let these men do what they do. These are two consenting adults. There she is. There she is. There. Look at her. All right, she a little too skinny for me. I like skinny girls, but all right. But hey, listen, it ain't my problem. He got what he got.
Couples night, strip club. Family night.
Dudes will still be up here, man. Look, I'm telling you, man, a lot of dudes that see this going on, they just mad they can't afford it. And they'll say they'll never do it. And you're right. You'll never do it. Okay? Because you ain't got the money. That's the reality of it. And you don't have to you don't
I got money.
Okay, looks like they're gonna go ahead and win the national championship. All right, but look, they'll say they never right here. They'll say they'll never do it, but the reality is they can't afford to do it. It's like when people say they'll never fly first class. I don't understand about flying first class. I don't understand about traveling international. You'll find that they can't do it. It's not that they won't do it, it's that they can't. Like they don't see parting ways with $300. They just don't see it. But they'll also go on a date and spend $125. Okay. So this is a sad scenario, and I'm going to show you the comment section here. It says right here, why do people record people's personal business? What do you get out of it? Yep. This one person says, stop hating, LOL. That's the cutest escort I ever seen on the strip. All right, that's true. Family night for sure. Man, don't blow up the spot. Hate on OG. That's his niece. Why y'all hating, bruh? Good for him. Hey, maybe for her too. Good for both of them. This is interesting how you stay in everyone's business. I mean, seriously, is this how you spend your day? Yes, because you're broke. This is how brokies spend their days. This is how these brokies spend their days watching CGA out here. All right. Wishing death upon me. All right. And I'm doing what I'm doing. And you're like, I can't see why he tricking off all his money. Certainly not. I'm not. It's not even close. So a man with a younger woman, and he might be spending a few dollars, but guess what? He's minding his own business. You up here filming him while he about to have the best time of his life. You're on the street alone, for sure. This is hating. That's fucking creepy. Stop harassing people. Unfollowed. I hope she's of age. She looked of age. Stop. $150 well spent. Don't be jealous. You just jealous. Jealous much. So most of these people are agreeing with me. Mind your own business, Poindexter. Elderly man found dead in hotel room vibes? Possibly not. Why don't you investigate something and have one of your goons assault him? Bothering people that just to get content. Yeah, look, everybody sees what it is. Everybody sees what time it is here. People just don't know how to get to it, and they're hoping that the morality police is going to stop people from doing this. You're not going to stop people from doing this. I live in these areas. You're not going to stop people from doing it. People are going to do it whether you like it or not. Calling them names and exposing them is not going to do anything because these women need money. They got binds to fix, and there's James Bynes out here. There's Trick James is out here that's going to come out here and handle business. All right, we have this one out here. Who likes Russian women? All right. Who likes Russian women?
Where the white women at?
We talked about this earlier here about female competition anxiety. All right, this woman says right here in this video, right here, she says, why don't you want to return to Russia, Mother Russia? Why don't you want to return to Russia? This is a woman here, Kova Slotsvova. Why don't you want to return to Russia? I'm not going to play the music, but you're going to have to watch this right here. It says, why don't you want to return to Russia? That's a rhetorical question. And now they're showing a lot of skinny mini Russian mail order bride type women, plumped up lips, manufactured. But, this is typically what you're going to find in Russia from young, attractive Russian women there. Yes, you can see there very skinny, blonde hair, fair hair, thin hair women. All right. Very universally highly select women. These women definitely work in institutions of debauchery, or sometimes they get sex trafficked and trafficked around the world based on their looks. They definitely see politicians in Monaco, possibly at the Epstein Island. But take a look at these wonderfully shaped women. I know a lot of black men are checking out of this conversation. It's okay. These are prime women for sure around the world and been prime women for a long time. And if they walking around Russia looking like this, yeah, it's going to be a hard time. All right. Yeah, these definitely women work in brothels and they become Andrew Tate girls in Transylvania. These are definitely high. And so this woman's saying here, and as you can see, she's fair haired and blonde. She definitely looks like she would fit the model. But she's saying right here, why don't you want to? People are asking her, why don't you want to return to Russia? And she's basically saying too much competition. Okay. Too much competition. That's basically what she's saying. Where she can stand out here, maybe in Western Europe, she can stand out in the United States. I don't know if she's in the United States here. Her name is Anastasia. She's not a bad looking woman. All right. She would definitely fit the mold, but she's saying too much competition. That's what she's saying there. And women do not like competition. They don't like to have to compete. And typically that's what happens when they're dealing with black men. When they feel like black men are going to make them compete, they get really insecure. So black men that open up in the trick, black men that become passport bros, black men that date interracially, they'll say they don't want these guys, but continue to talk about these guys like crazy. Why? Because it's going to be that much harder for them to be convinced to date women, advanced age women, single mothers, black women, dark-skinned black women. Right? Somebody said they can't see her body. I can change all that. You can see that. Let me see here. She's definitely still, as you can see, she's what I call earlier kind of an underdeveloped white woman. All right, she definitely could use some implants to enhance her upper body. That's not me saying that. That's probably what she probably feels and has insecurities about that. But she's a flatback. All right, she has a nice body, but you could tell she has some underdevelopment there going on in the chest region. Some men would typically like that. I don't mind that at all, but that definitely probably is an insecurity for her. So, yeah, she's definitely not going to go back to Russia, right? Not with that body. All right. And she could be in LA. She would probably be a 6. In Russia, she would be like everybody else and below. There's her right there. All right. So you can see right there. Not bad. Not bad. Skinny fat. Kind of sloppy yogurt. I mean, it's not bad at all. I'm not saying it's bad at all. But compared to the woman she saw in Russia, that she knows are in Russia. She knows those women are in Russia. She knows those women are in Bulgaria and Latvia. She knows those women are in Ukraine. She knows what she's going back to. She can stay in LA and get them sugar daddies there, and she can say she's Russian and they think they got something. But she's going back to Russia. She knows, and people are saying that she said it herself. She said it herself. She's describing that, yeah, back in Russia, I can't compete. That's what she's saying right there. And you can kind of see it. Her body's not bad, but compared to this, she cannot compete. Flatback Supremes out here. And yeah, all right, boy, these are Android bots right here. They got the bots out here. And by the way, plastic surgery is definitely very high in these regions, and they do invest. So, but sometimes they have a kind of natural look to that. Yeah, she can't compete. And she's saying that. That's what's as much as she's saying. Won't you find that interesting? That's an interesting piece of video footage that someone sent to me. I know YouTube is going to be like, you're describing her a little bit too long here. I was just describing her. I wasn't putting her down. We have 2 more pieces of footage here. We have a guy. His name is Wokenshin. He's an Asian guy. And he has this video to say about men who are married. And he says, listen, young guys. All right. We having a guy right here who's in an ecclesiastical marriage. Let me see his, he's got 1 million subscribers or followers on Instagram. And he says, listen, young guys. Listen, young guys. So we're going to hear some advice from this guy who is married. Let's see what we got here.
Listen, young guys. If you are married, I will save your life right now. After 20 years of marriage, I discovered one secret. Never say your first thought. Never, ever. The other day, my wife was upset. She said everybody around her was wrong. Everybody. And stupid me, I tried to be smart. Honey, if everyone is wrong, maybe the common denominator is... I didn't even finish the sentence. I saw my ancestors briefly. That day, I learned something. Marriage is not about logic. It's about survival.
There it is right there. He said, marriage is not about logic. It's about survival. When I tell you all men pay, all men pay. You got to tuck your tail for 20 years to survive. And not only for 20 years, you got 20 more years, sir. Let's talk about that. You got 20 more years to survive, if not 30. You got to ride this game out until it completes. And you got to be submissive and just survive, okay? Marriage is not about logic or winning. It's about survival. Who wants to get married and do this? They don't tell you this when you sign up. Sometimes they'll give you a little bit of an indication that that's what it is. Oh, yes, just say yes, dear. All right, yes, honey. But in order to be in a successful relationship, you're going to have to simp. You're going to have to simp. If you don't want to be a simp, like, you know, kowtowing and bending the knee and just surviving, not having discussions, not imputing logic and reason into the woman, not being right, you're just surviving, go for it. This is what he's saying. Listen, young men, marriage is not about logic. It's about survival.
Now I just say, you're right, honey. They are crazy. And
all right. Now I just say you're right, honey. Now I just say you're right, honey. Okay. Damn being right. Damn winning the argument. I just say you're right.
I wrap myself in a blanket like a peaceful monk. Young guys, you don't need to win the argument. You just need to live long enough to eat dinner.
Okay, guys, I'm hoping this is fake, but this is the marital advice they're out here giving you. Trust me, I did this for a little bit, and you know, when you're married, you don't see that you can get out of it. It's hard to get out of it because it's blood in and blood out. And then when you get into this, nobody's going to come help you. Marriage is not about winning the argument. It's about getting to dinner. Godly. I could never, I'll never subject myself to this type of humiliation. I'll never subject myself to this type of humiliation ever again. Connecticut, possibly with a comeback here.
Trust me. Listen, young.
Oh, he said, trust me. Who's signing up for this, bro? All right, Connecticut. Okay. All right. Could they have another miracle in store? All right, they're struggling here. All right, but guys, that's your marriage here. That's your solutions. All right, what's your solutions, coach? All right, don't you want to procreate? Don't you want to have a family? Don't you want to spread your legacy? There's your answers right there. All right, let's see the comment section. All right, we know there's a lot of normies in there and bots. Your ancestor says, stop right there, my child. This one says, I'm not sure too sure why husbands need to bow down before their wives, and definitely husbands isn't above their wife also. Aren't we supposed to be equal and mutually respectful for each other? That's what we're supposed to be. That's what you would assume, right? But nope. Not to survive. Pick your battles in life. None of them are with your wife. Woo-wee. Hey, it ain't me, bruh. It's not me, guys. Pick your battles in life. None of them are with your wife. These are your solutions for marriage. And look at the ratio here. Look at the ratio. You don't need to win the argument. You just need to live long enough to eat dinner. Protect this woman. Protect this man at all costs. This woman says, you're not wrong here, but I see you complain enough about your wife that it kind of turns me off. If you hate your wife, there are other options, you know. There are no other options. You don't have to be like the boomers. No, there's no other options. There's him getting torn up and losing all his shit. I wish my future husband is just as scared as you are of your wife. I wish my future husband is just as scared as you are of your wife. Okay. As a husband with 10 years experience, it's not about winning. It's about keeping peace in your life. These are true testimonies. This is what they're saying on the internet. And this is what they tell you in marriage, by the way. Marriage counseling. This is what they tell you in ecclesiastical church. People used to say happy wife, happy life. Now it's happy wife, you stay alive. These are what 50 Cent called happy hostages. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? When people say CGA, give me the solution. Here are married men abdicating for your existence, your future existence. This is what they're abdicating for, how they're surviving their marriage. Why would you marry someone like that in the first place? Okay, well, they don't look like that when you first married them. They look all beautiful and innocent and soft. Okay, I can't believe Michigan gonna win a national championship here. That's pretty impressive. We're gonna get a 2-point basket here attempt, and one shining moment goes to Michigan. Okay, they throw the ball down the court. All right, turning around here. I know you guys probably see it on a different time delay. University of Michigan is back. National champions. All right, congratulations to the University of Michigan winning the national championship. Quite a surprise. I didn't have them winning it all. All right, but shout out to the Michigan Wolverines. First national championship since Ramil Robinson and Glenn Rice, if I'm not mistaken. All right. I think that were the last Michigan team to win a national championship. So in basketball. All right. Shout out to them. Congratulations to the Wolverines. Are they better than the Fab Five? Are they better than the Fab Five? The Fab Five did not win a national championship. So they got to the finals twice, freshman and sophomore year, but they did not win a national championship. So it's interesting. Congratulations to the Wolverines. Okay. This woman says here, just to be honest, that's just avoiding conflict, which will lead nowhere at the end of the day because none of you will grow. With conflict, I don't mean heated arguments, just normal conversations. Tough thing when people avoid conflicts in relationships, it is a red flag. You don't grow and mature. You don't challenge each other. One thing that really scares me is when I hear people say, not scares me, but when I hear people say in relationships, we've never had an argument. I'm like, yeah. That means when you have that first argument, and you will over the next 40 years, let's see how people act. Let's see the ugly side of the person who refuses to compromise. Many marriages have a lot of success because there's compromise until there's not. When there's no more compromise, guess what happens? You will have divorce. You're going to have it because one person's going to stand their ground. And when one person stands their ground and then refuses to meet in the middle, then you're going to have conflict. All right, major conflict. And you're going to be surprised. It's not going to be early on in the relationships. It's going to be very much later in the relationship. And then they're going to stand their ground and they're going to refuse to budge. They're going to stonewall you. And then you either going to have to take that L. You're going to have to buck up or cuck up. And then now you'll never recover it because once you buck up or cuck up, she'll never respect you. So it's one of those things that's a very tough scenario. People don't realize that until later when it's too late. But we've never had an argument. We've been together for 5 years and we've never had an argument. Oh, really? Okay. Just wait. Just wait and see what happens. Last video before we get to the ecclesiastical main event is LeBron James. LeBron James on video here doing his duty to shit on two NBA franchise cities here. Here we go right here, LeBron James. Having some commentary about two cities. Let's go ahead and play the video.
You know, black people in Memphis, right, compared to like Nashville, great country. So people
did I say I don't like black people?
No, I didn't say that. But there were people who were wondering why Memphis was targeted. Like
Milwaukee was too. You didn't miss that one too? I didn't see that.
Not as much commentary.
Oh, yeah, okay. I said Milwaukee as well. Yeah. 41 years old. It's two cities I do not like playing in right now. And that's Milwaukee and that's Memphis. What is the problem? I don't like going home either. Shit, and I'm from there. What is people, you know?
So this is people have been going in on Memphis, and I don't know why this is happening, but there probably might be some, you know, what people have to understand is there's a lot of business that's happening here. You just have to remember Las Vegas and Seattle's just been awarded two franchises. Okay. An expansion. They're going to vote on this. Las Vegas and Seattle Supersonics they're already going to be the Supersonics. And these are supposedly two expansion teams. Now, they also LeBron has an interest because there's rumors that he's going to put together an investment team for the Las Vegas franchise. And one of the reasons he continues to play is that there's an incentive for him to stay in the game long enough and involvement in the game to have this transition from him to go to possibly Las Vegas. Maybe as a player, maybe as a player coach, maybe as a general manager or an earlier investor, and possibly have his son on the team as well. So there's rumors as to why his son continues to play, even though sometimes he doesn't look like he's worth playing. But they can plant, possibly, if he's the winning investor, which he probably will be, he can come in here and plant his name to the franchise and give some instant credibility. So there is some of that business shit going on here. You have to kind of understand that that's what he's doing. Now, when you are asked the question, what two cities are the more or less suckiest cities to go to as an NBA player, I would have probably came up with Milwaukee and Memphis too. All right, that's not even hard to understand. Number one, I have family in Milwaukee. I shit on Milwaukee all the time. Milwaukee ain't it. All right, Milwaukee is really a podunk city. Happy days. They have a very diverse inner city, black people there who can't afford anything. All right, they really can't afford to go to the games. They have a terrible, terrible black community there that continues to kill each other over the last 40, 50, 60 years. They have horrible mindsets. They have a small black population amongst the state, but they have a large black population in the city itself. A lot of the people who have money live way outside of Milwaukee. Right? They live way outside of Milwaukee. They live in places like Greenfield and West Allis and Greendale and these places, Brown Deer. All right. They have a Jewish community that lives outside of those areas. Waukesha, Wauwatosa, Riverdale, these places here. They live way outside. Brookfield, where the U's live. They have a Jewish community in Brookdale. They live way outside of the outskirts of Milwaukee. So they don't want nothing to do with Milwaukee. So when you do come into Milwaukee, into the area, the stadiums and the arenas tend to be downtown in Milwaukee, and this is not a good downtown area. It was good in the 80s. It's a horrible area now. All right, but they fixed it up and developed a little area down there for the Bucks. All right, but they had the Mecca, and then they had the Kohl Center. They had I can't remember, it was called something else, and now they have a newer arena, and they end up winning a championship. But Milwaukee is a terrible town. It's a terrible town. It's not a good city. So he's saying when you go down there, you got to stay down there in those areas where the restaurants are, and go down there and stay in the hotels. Most of the time, you're going there where it's hella cold. All right, Milwaukee is cold as shit. And during the NBA season, it's cold and dark and dank and desperate, depressing. So yes, Milwaukee is not a good town. Bradley Center. Yes, it was the Bradley Center for a long time. But I think they play in a newer arena. Okay. It is not cool in the winter. No, it is not the place to be. And most of the NBA players travel to Milwaukee in the winter, and there's really nothing to do. Charles Barkley actually threw somebody through a plate glass in a tavern in Milwaukee. Very, very terrible place to be. And he played there while living in Cleveland, of all places. And don't let me go in Cleveland, Ohio. I tend to talk shit about Cleveland, Ohio, too. Not the best area either, but they think they're going to be the next New York. All right, they got a new Fiverr forum out there. All right, shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. But yeah, Milwaukee would come up as a place that I would think NBA players would not want to spend their per diem. Plus, the hoes in Milwaukee are very, very, very terrible. I mean, listen, they got some good-looking women for Milwaukee. All right, but when you think about some hus that you're going to blow your per diem on, you're not excited to go to Milwaukee. Okay. Well, I can't wait to get to Milwaukee and go with them big old snow cows and hus down there, them big old, big nose Polish. You're not about to get the fine hus down there. I mean, compared to when you go to Miami, Los Angeles, New York, and shit like that. All right. So, yeah, bro, you ain't going down there and get some hus in Milwaukee. All right. All right. Now. All right, the lumberjack. So, yeah, you're not going to get it. And I spend a lot of time in Milwaukee, so I can definitely vouch for it. And the black women in Milwaukee, I mean, listen. So if you're looking for fine-ass sisters, Milwaukee is not it. You're not about to go get some fine-ass sisters in Milwaukee. Ugh. So if you like sisters, the Milwaukee is going to be depressing for you. Okay, that's not the place to pick up fine-ass black women, Milwaukee. All right, so now there's that. So now he's trying to throw Milwaukee under the bus because Memphis is catching strays related to the conversation, and we talked about it earlier. Memphis is not a good place either for an NBA franchise. So I would say Milwaukee slightly better than Memphis, but both of them have their main issues, which are a lot of people are gang violence, a lot of depressing outlooks in life for the people there. The black men definitely don't have a lot of positive outlook in life. And here's another thing. If you want to name two cities where you would say the hands of time are turned back about 30 or 40 years, Memphis and Milwaukee are both those cities in the NBA. Like, you still have pimps running crazy in Memphis and Milwaukee. In fact, Milwaukee is a rest haven for pimps. Okay. Memphis is a rest haven for pimps. Las Vegas is another one, bum ass pimps. But they have that's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with bum ass pimp niggies in Memphis and Milwaukee. Very, very terrible areas in terms of franchises. There's some other areas that are not great and sort of bleak as well. But yeah, you got to deal with some pimp ass nigga in Milwaukee to get some huzz. All right. Pimps still exist. In Milwaukee, they do. In Las Vegas, they do. And definitely in Memphis, they do. Is bad. So he's saying that they were trying to say that he was going in on Memphis. Memphis is an obvious target. They're not ready or equipped to have a franchise like that. They'll never get a hockey team. They'll never get another professional team to match to match the need to give credibility to the city. Most NBA franchises have multiple professional teams. There are exceptions. Oklahoma City, Portland, there are exceptions to this one. So those cities don't have a matching professional team. But Memphis and Milwaukee does. All right, Milwaukee has the Brewers. So that's a matching professional team, but Memphis doesn't. So I don't think those cities are going to do very well thriving wise for the people there to develop a year-round source of revenue. All right. Anyway, a lot of Chicago people moved there. Yeah, Milwaukee's a sister city of Chicago, and a lot of people in Milwaukee brag that they're from Chicago. Like, they'll be like, "I'm from Chicago." Like, that's how their credibility is. They'll tell you, "All right, I ain't really from here. My people were in Chicago." All right, so that's kind of their inferiority complex. But yeah, the job industry is bad. Many of the people who they depend on to run those arenas and lay down floors are people that really been part of the criminal justice system. They're using this job to, reform themselves. A bad job outlook for these people. The factories and the car industries have left. Milwaukee had a thriving blue collar industry until NAFTA got a hold of them. But they used to have Renault as a car manufacturer in Milwaukee. A lot of thriving blue collar jobs left in the late 80s and the early 90s, completely destroying and decimating the culture of those cities. A lot of these blue collar cities are like that, Pittsburgh and this type of shit. All right. And once those jobs leave, it destroys the city, especially for the lower class, particularly African-American men and minorities. So it does harm it. Harley Davidson is in Milwaukee. You also have Alice Chalmers, I believe, is still around, or the people who make cranes and shit like that and tractors. These places were around in the 80s and 90s. They're no longer around or driving businesses anymore. And they have shipped up and shipped out to Mexico and Philippines and these areas and decimated the opportunities for the people around. Therefore, these young men end up stunted growth, stunted adolescence, engaging in pimping and criminal activity and being part of the penal system, pause, and being part of gangs. And anyway, somebody said they made Renaults in Milwaukee. Yeah, I believe they did make Renaults in Milwaukee, because when I had a family member that worked in one of the plants that made Renaults, and I think it was in Milwaukee. But take a listen. Go ahead and check that out and see if I'm correct. But I believe that's the truth. And Renault no longer exists. They do exist overseas internationally. It's not technically the same company, but I believe they were in Milwaukee. All right. But yeah, LeBron James is right on this one. But there's also some politics going on. You're going to hear a lot of people maybe back off of this conversation a little bit, because Memphis is getting a little bit more self-defense. They're defending themselves and trying to fight out of it. And they're also saying in Memphis that you're ruining the opportunities for us to have thriving downtown and businesses if you remove the franchise. It's going to end up being worse. It's going to be worse for them if you remove this franchise and move it to Nashville. There's also some racial implications being made here. Nashville is typically more considered white and more affluent than when you have Memphis. It's considered possibly more black in inner city, where you have people who are black and built businesses around the Memphis Grizzlies being there. Yeah, you're going to have people take on those issues as well. But if you look at the history of Memphis itself, they have definitely not a good record. High crime rate. You even had the cops gang task force beat the shit out of a young black male who apparently one of the cops, that guy was seeing the baby mama of one of the cops. What else did you have? You had the assassination of Martin Luther King in Memphis. You had Elvis dying on a toilet in Memphis. You have young Dolph getting shot up 50 times in Memphis, right? In the Memphis cookie store. Recently, you had the beef between young Yo Gotti in Memphis. You had recently, as of last week, the Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty, all right, running up and allegedly committing a crime against the brother Gucci Mane. Not very good. Not very good representation of what Memphis could be. Oh, and may I add to that, Ja Morant adds to that. He was basically allegedly running around with gangs, threatening other NBA teams with red lights, driving along the Memphis freeway with the team bus leaving the arena. I mean, and he was running around allegedly with gang members in Memphis, accosting people at shopping malls and at volleyball tournaments. Okay. You add the Ja Morant addition to that, that does not look good for the city of Memphis holding an NBA franchise. So I do see why these players are saying that. And they're also saying that the hotel stays and the accommodations are not up to snuff. You know, they're used to staying in 5-star hotels, and the 5-star hotels in Memphis probably don't add up. You're used to staying at the Fairmont, you know, somewhere in Miami, and you got fine ass hoes, and you get there in the 70 to 80 and 90 degrees. You show up to Milwaukee and Memphis, and it's dark and dank, cloudy and brown and gray skies. Very, very much not an attractive offer for these people. Oh, yeah. What about Lorenzen Wright's wife in Memphis? Killing Lorenzen Wright. I covered that story back in the day. So Lorenzen Wright played at the University of Memphis, or they used to call it Memphis State at the time. University. Got Penny Hardaway down there coaching the Memphis State Tigers. And he played for Memphis, University of Memphis or Memphis State. Then you had Lorenzen Wright, who played for Memphis. He was a journeyman around the league. He comes back to Memphis and is the star player, and then he gets in trouble. He's end up selling coke or drugs to keep up with his wife's spending, and she kills him in Memphis. I mean, yeah, other cities. Los Angeles got a horrible reputation amongst itself as a city itself, but you know, the Clippers and the Lakers can be in relative obscurity and distraction because you have so much else going on in Los Angeles. You have UCLA men's basketball team winning the national championship. You have the USC Trojans. You have the LA Dodgers. The Los Angeles Kings are relevant every now and then, every 10 years. You have the football teams, the Chargers, the Rams. Both of them tend to be playoff contenders here and there, onesie twosie. You have the Los Angeles Raiders, who we still run LA. So you always have distraction away from the Clippers and the Lakers, all right? And then, you know, you can hide it amongst all the other shit. And you have, fine-ass women. You have the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. You have a lot. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Clanaheim. You got way more things to distract the bullshit that goes into Los Angeles. So you can kind of hide in obscurity here and there. But Memphis has just the Grizzlies. All right. So then when you just go there and it's just the Grizzlies there, you're just not very much thrilled to play there. All right. Anyway, that's what I think about it. But, you know, I mean, you can add other cities to that. But I think what's happening, there's a little politicking going on here, and there's a lot of truth going on there. I think that Memphis team is not going to survive there relatively well. They're going to have to change the identity of that Memphis team. It's kind of like the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz is another one of those cities that at one point only had one professional franchise. They don't have a football team. They just got a hockey team. Did they even name the hockey team yet? It's still just a hockey team. And they don't have a professional baseball team, although they have a AAA affiliate of the Angels. They have the Bees there. It's not a major league team, if you will. But Utah basically stays relevant. Yeah, they have an MLS team, the Utah MLS team, but I won't include soccer as a professional team that can draw attention away from the big four teams. I'm not trying to shit on soccer, but I'm going to tell you why Utah stays relevant. And the Milwaukee Bucks used to do this. And this is a little bit of drunk history. They named the team the Mammoth. Okay, that's not a bad name. I mean, they got a lot of ski resorts in there, the Mammoth. I mean, I'll take that. I'm going to tell you why the Utah team stays relevant. And the Milwaukee Bucks used to do this. They got away from it. And a lot of teams have got away from this. The reason why the Utah Jazz stays relevant in Utah is they tend to almost always have white players on their team. Now, they had a little bit of a time where they brought in niggies, like that one nigga that had that tattoo across his neck, Deshaun Stevenson, and they brought in that mulatto basketball player. He wore number 8. He was a mulatto basketball player. They tend to bring in a couple of niggies. They had Karl Malone, but they typically have all white team. And that leads to big fan support for the Utah franchise, because there's mostly white people in Utah. All right. So, and they have a lot of money, and they're suburban teams, and they got that Mormon dough. So they tend to cater to the demographics of the city. That Darren Williams is the guy I was talking about. They tend to cater to the demographics of the city that will tend to lead that city to support them. The Milwaukee Bucks used to do this. They used to have a lot of white players on the Milwaukee Bucks. And this was in the mid 80s and the 90s. They had Jack Sigma. They had Paul McKeskey. All right. They had a bunch of white boys on the team. And a lot of people in Milwaukee would be like, why they got these white boys on the team? Let's get some brothers in there. Because they did have Terry Cummings, and they did have they had a guard that was crazy back in the day. A crazy guard from Arkansas. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah. But so they would have all these white people on the team because Milwaukee, although they have an inner city black team, they kept it white for a long time. Sidney Moncrief is his name. Legendary scorer, Sidney Moncrief and Terry Cummings, but they surrounded those guys with white players. So you would look at the team, and it would be those two black players. All right. And Craig Hodges every now and then. And another brother who did very well for himself in business. Junior Bridgman played for the Milwaukee Bucks back in the day. I'm going way back. But then they would surround them with mostly white people. And that led to fan support. The reason why the Bucks here today are relevant today is because they have the guy, the Greek freak over there, Giannis Antetokounmpo. But the reason why Giannis hasn't left is because he has his two brothers on the team. No NBA franchise is going to kowtow to Giannis in that manner. All right. And so Giannis is staying with the Bucks despite the fact that they suck. And that's why Giannis sticks around, because he's able to bring his two handicapped brothers on the team. Okay. But going back to what I was saying is that Memphis has a problem because they have basically a gangbanger basketball team. Okay. And they have they have one of the most gangbangerish niggas on the team. It doesn't serve them well for the demographics of the city to have that team be in Memphis. You're going to have to move them out. And if they move them to Nashville, they're going to have a mixed team. They're going to have to bring in some white boys. They're going to have to mix it up to get some fan interaction. But if your team caters to the lowest common denominator socially with gangbangers, all right, and then you got gangbanger activity in Memphis, and you have a city that identifies with high levels of crime rate, well, it's going to be a depressing place to go to. They have white players, but the face of your team is a gangbanger, allegedly. And yeah, somebody said this, and this is a true point. The Portland Trailblazers had this problem. Back in the 2000s, the Portland Trailblazers had this problem, this identity with being a thug team. In fact, they used to call them the Jailblazers or the Trail Gangsters. All right. And now they were good teams, but they had Rasheed Wallace. They had Scottie Pippen, post Chicago Bulls. They had Damon, what's his name? The point guard, Mighty Mouse. All right. They had him. They had definitely some trail gangsters. They had a thug team. They all wore black shoes back when the days where people didn't wear black sneakers. Damon Stoudemire. Yeah, Bonzi Wells. They had the other dude, J.R. Ryder, right? J.R. Ryder. They literally had gangsters on their team, all right? They called them the Trail Gangsters. Zach Randolph. Isaiah Ryder, not J.R. Ryder. Who is J.R. Ryder? Isaiah Ryder. Oh, he was J.R. Ryder back in the day. If I'm not mistaken. Isaiah Ryder, Bonzi Wells. Yeah, bro. Zach Randolph. They had a thug ass team. Yeah, J.R. Ryder was his name before he switched to Isaiah Ryder. I believe, I'm not mistaken. When he played at UNLV, he was J.R. Ryder. I might be wrong. But go ahead and look it up. But they literally had they called them the Trail Gangsters or the Jailblazers. So they were a very, very, very hard team to identify with. A lot of technical fouls, a lot of fighting. Steve Smith was on the team. He was the good boy on the team. So, sheesh. I think that's what's happening with the Memphis Grizzlies. They just have a bad identity with that franchise being in Memphis. And then you have Ja Morant on top of that. Yeah, Ruben Patterson. Oh, man, they really had a thug team. Dale Davis was on that team too. Oh, my Lord. All right. Yeah, that was a very, very tough place to go in and play. And they had Scottie Pippen going there as well. He was kind of a leader of that team. Let me see here. Somebody said, what about the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys? The Bad Boys. Yeah, they had a bad reputation too. Dennis Rodman and Mark Aguirre at one point, but then they trade. Mark Aguirre came on the team. They had Andrea Dantley at one point, and then Isaiah Thomas, who we thought was a good guy, but he was a dirty player. Bill Laimbeer. Yeah, they were very much, but they kind of got credit for being dirty. I think they got credit for being dirty because they were sympathetic because people hated the Celtics. All right. And the 76ers, and they hated Michael Jordan. So I think they got credit for kind of being the lovable team that is dirty and clawing their way through to beat the Celtics. And the fact that they were an underdog for so long and we wanted to see the Celtics lose, that we were willing to put up with them being dirty. Whereas the Memphis Grizzlies and the Portland Trailblazers, they didn't have that reputation. We were rooting for them to knock off the top dog. That's just my opinion on it. I just think they were underdogs for so long and we were rooting for them to knock off the white boy Boston Celtics, who everybody hated unless you lived in Boston. But then what happens was then when the Detroit Pistons became the top dog, then Michael Jordan became the sympathetic figure. And there was like, oh, we want Michael Jordan to win. And now the bad boys are assholes, right? Yeah, the Nuggets had a bad boy team too. They had Allen Iverson on the same team as Kenyon Martin, and Allen Iverson. And I want to say one of those guys, that gangbanger dude that plays on the team, he always talking about, I can't remember his name. He's on the podcast with Matt Barnes. Did he play on one of those teams? Okay. I think he played on one of those teams. All right. The one guy that has a podcast with Matt Barnes. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear Steven Jackson? Who did he play for? Did he play for the Nuggets? He played for the Pacers. Oh, Pacers. What about the what about the Indiana Pacers? When they had Indiana Pacers, where they had the fight at the Detroit Palace. They had Jermaine, you know who I'm talking about. They kind of had a thug team too going on for a minute. The Indiana Pacers. Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, and Steven Jackson. They had a thug team going on. That era of NBA basketball had a lot of thugs. They had a lot of gangsters that was playing basketball because of the hip hop culture, the baggy shorts, the headbands. They kind of definitely changed that with the NBA, with the gangsters coming in there. The commissioner at the time changed that with the dress code and, removing of headbands and sweatbands and all of that stuff. Somebody said fake thugs. Yeah, the Malice in the Palace. So that was the Indiana Pacers. They had, I think Jalen Rose was on that team. So they definitely changed that identity of bringing in those dudes that represented the streets and the thugs. It's still around a little bit, but if you look at the New York Knicks, you will look at them and think they're a thug team. But then when they do post-game interviews, they sound like they reading from Othello. Right. All right. They got a couple of, dudes with braids. That one dude, the point guard for the Knicks now, I'm a casual NBA fan now. I know a little bit about history back in the day, but I don't know much about the NBA now. It's kind of like I'm not attached to it emotionally. But they look like a thug team until they started doing post-game interviews and they got their white wives showing up to the Christmas party. All right. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, let's pull it up. New York Knicks Christmas wives photo. But that one dude, Brunson, I think he went to Villanova. And then they got the cat, the basketball player. He'd be like, foul. All right. They be hella flamboyant and all the way. They gaydar is up. Let me see here. Christmas photo. Wives. So they look kind of roguish. They look roguish, but they really, they really not gangster and thug like that. They really look like they about to go out there and beat somebody up. But at the end of the day, foul. Look at them with they white wives. All right, look at them out here. All right.
Where the white women at?
And by the way, the only man in this picture that has a black wife is a white guy, a European. All right. But wowzers, look at this.
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow.
All right. Look at these European built women. Woo wee.
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow.
But the only one with a black wife is a white boy over here on the right. All right, Lord have mercy. This is funny shit, man. I know this is a relaxed show. This is funny shit. All right, but the Knicks do look like they got kind of a hardcore team, but not really. All right, not really. They suburban. Villanova, they be reading from plays, going to theater and shit. Shout out to them. No disrespect. And somebody said he not smiling. Yeah, he looked like he going through it. His eyes are all looking in the back. Look, he ain't smiling. All right, she's smiling, but he ain't smiling. There's something to be said about men who are around black women. They don't smile. Okay, I've done a series on this. If you're new to this, I've done a series where I've showed you, and we got a little bit of time. Anytime you see a picture of a black man with a black woman, celebrity, entertainer, athlete, they're almost never smiling. And I've pulled up pictures of LeBron James with Savannah, especially when they were younger, not smiling. Every now and then you'll see it. Even when you pull up celebrities and entertainers, pull up an average picture of a black guy with a black woman. They don't smile. And I kind of surmise that it's not because they're not happy, but there's an inherent need for black men to look masculine and tough and not weak. Sometimes they kind of want to look like, yeah, look what I got. Kind of like, like I got my girl. But that tends to happen even when it comes to even the white guy in this situation. He over here trying to look hard. Now, when you see black men with white women, look at what happens. All right. Look at Jalen Brunson right here. Look at Jalen Brunson.
Niggas always gotta show they teeth.
Look at Jalen Brunson. We seeing all the pearly whites. Look at this nigga right here. Who's this tall dude? That's Julian Randle, I believe. Look at Julian Randle showing all them teeth.
Niggas always gotta show their
Julius Randle is his name, not Julian Randle. Look at Julius Randle. He got all his teeth out. Look at the brother who won the dunk contest. All right, he went to I can't remember what Miami, Ohio. I can't remember what school he went to, but I don't remember his name either. He won the dunk contest. He's a great athlete. Look at him. Teeth is out. Obi Toppin is his name. Obi Toppin. Look at Obi Toppin. Looking like Toby Toppin.
Niggas always gotta show they
He went to the University of Dayton. Yes. Okay, so I said Miami of Ohio, Dayton. Okay, my bad. I'm a casual NBA fan now. All right. I don't know much about the league too much. Look at Obi Toppin. Teeth is out.
Niggas always gotta show they teeth.
Now, I'm telling you, man, there's something inherently different about when black men are in pictures with white women versus when black men are in pictures with black women. And it even goes further. I could take this further. Most times, if you find white women that date thug black men or that they're interested in black men, most of the time they don't smile in their pictures either. This is a psychological thing. A key indicator of a white woman that's interested in dating hoodlums, thugs, street niggas, or they're interested in black men in particular, in their photos, they won't smile. They'll be like this. Hold on, let me take my glasses off. Because this is how sisters take pictures. They'll do the model thing. So when a white woman does it, you know she likes black men. But if you want to find a white woman that wants to not date black men, she'll be smiling, grinning, ear to fucking ear. Because white people typically smile in pictures like corny. Kool-Aid smile. That's how they'll do it. You'll get in front of white people and they'll be like, okay, we're taking a picture, smile. And if you be like, no smile. All right. So white people who are around white people typically smile motherfucking ear to ear. But when you're around black people, when they take pictures, they tend to not smile. They'll be in jail, squatting, doing the point. And it also goes to black people don't have good teeth. They don't invest in their teeth. They have gaps, cavities, gold teeth, shit like this. They'll smile if they got grills in their face. But typically you will see that white women that date black men will not smile in their pictures. Typically, it's not always. Remember, there's no certainty. It's never 100%. But you will see, go find a white woman that's like kind of just in her pictures. Niggas. She dates niggas. She dates niggas. And so by 80% chance she has dates and gets ran through by low quality niggas. And then you can say the same about black men that are in pictures with black women. Who wants to try this out? We'll try it out right here. What's the dude's name? Okay. We'll give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot right here. All right. So watch this right here. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right now. We're going to give you an example right now. We're going to take a black couple that we know predominantly here. We go Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Now, I know y'all going to say a whole bunch of other shit, but let's just take their photos right here. All right. Let's go across. We'll do it live. All right. We have a photos at the top. 1, 2, 3. Dwayne Wade smiling. Photo number 4 at the top. Half a smile. Let's take a look at these 3 photos. Okay. Let's take a look at these. Now, this is an example. All right. This is just curating images. So these 3 pictures, he's smiling. These 3 pictures, either a half smile or no smile at all. Let's go to the next row. 2 out of 3, he's not smiling. We have these pictures. 2 out of 3, he's not smiling, but he's bending the knee in that picture right here. We have these 2 pictures, smile and no smile. We have this picture, no smile, but that's kind of a live action picture. We won't count that. No smile again right here. No smile. He's kind of trying to look cool or whatever he's doing here. We got this picture, no smile. So this is what I'm telling you. Okay. Now we'll do a white couple here in a minute, and I'll allow you guys to tell me what white couple that we should do. All right. But there's a picture there. They're smiling. Okay. There's a picture there. And I would say that's a half smile. We got smiles here, smiles there, no smile. Okay. And then we have a smile there, no smile there, a smile there in the family picture, and a half smile. Okay, we got no smile there, no smile there, no, there's a smile there. Okay, we got, so it's like 50-50. 50-50. Okay, who else should we do here for a white couple? Somebody said, look at LeBron James and Savannah. Okay, that's going to be another one here. I've actually done LeBron James and Savannah, and it's definitely 60-40. Okay, here's an example here. We'll pull up LeBron James. We'll do it live. This is the black. All right, here we have, we'll take these pictures here. Prom, high school, smile. No smile here. No smile there. We have a smile with the family. No smile there. So you see that? No smile, no smile, no smile. Very serious. There's another example. Very serious picture there. He's somewhat serious here. He's smiling there. He looks happy there, but that's an action photo. We have him smiling here. He's laughing, haha, and kiki in there. But if you take a look here, somewhat not a smile. Okay, we have a non-smiling picture here. Another one there. Another one there. No smile. But there's a young picture of them smiling and happy. No smile there, but that's an action photo. We don't know. But there's a pose picture. No smile. Okay, smile there. So it's mixed. You can see it. Two pictures here. No smile. No smile there. All right. Well, we got a family picture, obviously a smile. All right. And we got a smile there. So you see it mixed. No smile there. No smile there. No smile there. All right. So we need a white couple. Give me a white couple. Somebody says the Beckhams. All right. The Beckhams. Let's see if the Victoria and Bend It Like Beckham. Victoria Beckham and David Beckham. All right, so we're going to pull them up and see what we see here. He's giving us Zoolander. All right, he's giving us Zoolander here. But let's go ahead and go with that because you brought him up. We'll go with Victoria and David Beckham. All right, so what do we have here? We got no smile there. We got a half smile there. No teeth there. No teeth there. We have teeth there. No teeth there. Okay, he ain't showing much teeth at all. All right, and she definitely wearing on his ass for sure. Not much smiles there. But he tends to not smile anyway. Or definitely no smiles there. He is definitely not showing teeth there. All right. I don't think he has teeth. All right. But you definitely don't see a lot of smiles there around her. And she definitely looks like she exhausting this nigga. All right. But he's not typically a person to be smiling anyway. But you definitely don't see teeth around here for the Beckhams. Does he even? Uh-oh. I thought that was two boys. All right. But definitely no smiles around here. All right, no teeth around the Beckhams at all. Not a smile to be seen. But yeah, let's take an American white couple. I don't want to say that, but that was a good one. There's no teeth around Victoria Beckham, but she looks kind of like an exhausting person anyway. Let's see here. Somebody said, oh, this will be a good one. This will be a good one. This is going to seal the deal. We're going to take Travis Kelce when he was with that black woman versus Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift. This is going to seal the deal. Trust me on this one. I'm the sociologist on this one. We're going to take Travis Kelce when he was with that NB versus Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift. Okay. So this is going to seal the deal. Travis Kelce with, who remembers that girlfriend? What's her name? What's her name? Okay. The girlfriend before Taylor Swift. Her name is Kayla Nicole. I've talked about them before. All right, so Travis Kelce with Kayla Nicole. I'm going to pull that up, and we're going to see if this trends. Oh, no. Oh, man, this is going to be... Okay, so we got him with Kayla Nicole. So Travis Kelce with Kayla Nicole. Here we go. No smile. No smile. Serious. Very serious there. No smile there. No smile there. We got a smile here. No smile there. And... no smile there. No, okay, we got a little bit of a smile there. No smile there. He's looking serious and tough. That's kind of the old look at what I got. I'm cool smile right there. No smile there. Let's see here. We got a smile there. Smile here. We got him smiling there. Really grinning there. Cheesing. No smile there. Okay, the tough guy. All right, I'm super duper cool. Let's go this row. No smile, no smile. Okay, we got a smile there. All right, that's a family picture. Is that even them? That doesn't even look like them. And we'll go with, let's see here. No smile there. Okay, we got him kissing. No smile there. All right, so we got that. Let's take a look at Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift represents the really lily white. All right, so we'll go ahead and look at here. Oh, man. Let's pull it up. This is completely at random, just so we can see and prove our case. The best case was so we got here. Smile. He really cheesing here. Cheesing, grinning. Look at this smile. No teeth, but he's happy he's happy as large right there. Look at him grinning. He grinning. Look at him. He's he got that.
I got money.
Look at him right here. Okay. No smile there, but teeth out right there. Chin and greasing. Look, greasy ass smile. For them pancakes. What about this? Look at him. Ear to ear, Kool-Aid smile, nigga. He like,
I got money.
Grinning again, smile. Okay, no smile there. Look at him grinning. Grinning. He happy as a motherfucker. He's showing all them pretty white teeth. He can't help it. He got a little smile there. All right, we won't count that. Look at him ecclesiastically kissing them pancakes. All right, look at him smiling. He got all them teethuses out, bruh. Is my social studies undefeated? I'm undefeated at this shit, man. Undefeated. There's something to be said about this. All right, something to be said about this, man. Look this up, too. Look this up, man. You're going to see that this is overwhelmingly true. My man is grinning. All right, look at him. He's showing all the white. He even dressed like a white boy. Look at him. He done went over there to Miller's Outpost or whatever the shit that he did. All right, look at him. He done went over there to Oshkosh Bagage, Tommy Hilfiger. He done went over there to H&M. All right, he stopped shopping at Cross Colors in the Hood store. He done went and got him some real clothes and shit. Look at him. He didn't cut his goatee off and went with the white boy handlebars. He didn't went with the white boy haircut. He went off the buzz cut. He out here tap dancing and shit. All right, look at him, bruh. Look at what them white girls make you do. Look at what them white girls make you do.
I'm so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow.
Yeah, look at what them white girls will make you do, boy. Change your whole shit up. Sitting there all respectful. You ain't leaning now, slumped down in your seat. Look at them cheesing. Look at what them white girls make you do.
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow.
Man, they make you start smiling until you with them for a long time. Then they get depressed and self-delete aside. Okay, let's do the support. We'll kick the main event in. All right, who disagrees with my sentiment? I always smile. All right, okay. Shout out to Kevin G says, here's a poem for that old skeezer. After dropping some ecclesiastical brain, let me explode in your Duke shoot like propane. I want to tremble inside like avalanche in Maine. Claudia Jordan, you always swallow me from the back. Close range. Shout out to you. Thank you for letting me read that. Swallow me from the back. Shout out to our brother Drew says, Coach, you called them UCL weak Transformers beautiful. Come on, Coach. Extra pause. They got deeper voices than you. JC, pause again. What the hell? No way. Well, I didn't see it coming. Pause. Maximum Vitality 44 says, salute. Thank you for the support. No government name says, why is it so hard for people to accept that any area associated with niggies, poverty, or crime will be viewed as bad universally? I offended Obama when I said I would never visit, work, or live in the South because I view it like Africa and India, dirt poor and dirty and unsafe and backwards. But what they'll do is they'll say, well, that's not true. We got good areas and there's good people here. And that's what they'll say. And I'm like, but you're ignoring the obvious. You know your city ain't shit. You know what we're talking about. Okay, but they'll ignore the obvious. And they'll talk about all the gentlemen scholars that they have in these areas. Shout out to, he says, can you explain why people who come from bad areas or poor areas cling more to the bad neighborhoods as they identify where they don't even own anything like land or family businesses, as opposed to people who come from good and safe identity or identified with more of their accomplishments? Well, I mean, you just take hip hop. Just take hip hop. Hip hop, rap tends to glorify the dangerous cities in America, and to the point that they jump up there every day. Wale, Washington, D.C. And they'll glorify some of the most shadiest shit that goes in there. Harlem World, Dipset, in Harlem, and particularly Brooklyn, Notorious B.I.G., and Jay-Z. Queensbridge, the Bridge, Queenbridge, all right. Miami, Rick Ross. Los Angeles, Eazy-E, NWA, Ice Cube, and anybody in between that, to the point where you have the Kendrick Lamars. All right, they'll just do story after story about these areas and glorify it and shit like that. Oakland, Too Short, Ant Banks, E40. He's not from Oakland, and particularly I think he's from Richmond. I might have that wrong. E40 or any of those ecclesiastical areas there. Atlanta, Dirty South, Zone 6, all right, and this type of thing. O Block, Chicago, O Block, any of those Chicago affiliated rappers, Po Pimpin', Twista, any of these type of rappers there. Even Kanye West talked about it too. Vallejo, E40. Where do I stop? Philadelphia, Meek Mill, Benny Siegel, anybody that's relatively new, I can't name. Houston, Fifth Ward, New Orleans, bling, bling, right? I mean, where do you go? You continue to have these people glorify these areas for profit, and then these kids mimic these lifestyles and destroy the community. And then when you say, well, I wouldn't go to these areas, there are shitty people there, then they get mad at you, right? You're like, Memphis, Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, go across the board. They tend to tell you the shitty areas and glorify it and glamorize it. And then people want to go there and hang out there as a means to survive. And then all of a sudden, when you say, well, these are shitty areas, podunk areas, then they get offended. There's really good people here. How the hell are we going to listen to 20, 30, 40 years of you telling us the shittiest areas are these areas and glorify the death and decay that goes up there and then defend it as places that are good places to visit? By the way, you never heard people say, I'm going to fly into Compton. I'm going to fly into Vallejo. Literally, I'm going to fly into Oakland. You never hear people say, I'm going to take a vacation in Philadelphia. Shit, Miami Gardens for that matter, right? People stay in South Beach or over in Brickell. How many people say they're going to fly into Jacksonville, Cleveland, all right, for that matter? Bone Thugs and Harmony, Cleveland, all right. Milwaukee has a semblance of rappers that have glorified the death and decay of those areas. Okay. So then when you start saying, look, these are bad areas, these are shitholes, President Trump's going to send in the damn National Guard, they get offended. Why? What's wrong with our area? You know what's going on there, East St. Louis. All right. Like, come on, man. It's just crazy work. And listen, I've been to all of these areas. So they're good areas in these places, yes, but I don't hang around these areas. Take a flight to St. Louis. That's cool, because nobody knew us. Stepped off the plane. 4 game bangers, professional crack slangers. What about DJ Quick? It's just like Compton. He named, I believe, San Antonio, St. Louis, possibly Milwaukee. I can't remember the other cities he named that's just like Compton. So why do people have that argument, that conversation? Not only that, people will talk about how tough they are based on the city that they grew up in. I'm from Brooklyn. They'll start off with, I'm from Brooklyn. Like I'm supposed to be like, oh, sorry. You're probably good at fighting. You probably have a knife. You'll kill me, which probably is the case. But then when I say, yeah, you know what I mean? Niggas in Brooklyn are shady. Well, what's wrong? Right? Well, you're the one saying that you're dangerous because you're from this area. You know, I'm from LA. I'm from LA. I grew up in LA. Oh, You grew up in LA. All right. So I guess you're tough. Meanwhile, you was a geek from LA. You was a geek ass nigga. You hid in the corner. You got out of school early. Your mama picked you up from school. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. You're in the middle of a fight and you got to say, I'm from Detroit. We don't play that shit in Detroit. But then when I say, I'll never go to fucking Detroit. What's wrong with Detroit? What's wrong with Detroit? You literally are telling me how tough I should be scared of you because you're from Detroit. Now, when I say Detroit ain't shit, now you're mad that I say Detroit ain't shit. All right, anyway, Baltimore. I grew up around Baltimore. I'm from the DMV. Baltimore. I'm from Prince George's County. Okay, all right. Well, I'll never go there. What's wrong with it? You must be an Uncle Tom cool sellout. Well, you're the one glorifying and glamorizing how terrible it is, how I should fear you because you're from Baltimore. And now Memphis. Memphis has now got that characteristic. They're now trying to defend the good things about Memphis. Well, the last time I heard, a rapper got shot 50 times in Memphis. Now, yes, Tupac got shot several times in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. I don't glamorize Las Vegas. I'm not from Las Vegas. I'm just here. I've been here for almost 4 years. I'm not from Las Vegas. I don't defend Las Vegas. But they literally shot Young Dolph 50 times. And as a matter of fact, Offset just got shot in Florida. Offset just got shot today. This is Cardi B's ex-husband. By the way, if you don't know, Offset's his brother, Takeoff, got killed in Houston. So Offset just got shot. Apparently he's okay. He's got shot at Hard Rock Casino. He's been getting accosted and approached by people way too much recently. And I don't know. I'm not going to put it past somebody putting a hit on him. Okay. And I'm not going to say who, but he is a member of the Migos, which you guys don't realize is one of the highest selling rap groups in the history of hip hop. But Offset is shot here in the city of Hollywood, Florida, at the Hard Rock Casino. So that's breaking news again. But we're supposed to believe that you guys are upstanding citizens and educated scholars, and I'm supposed to come to your city and shit like that. Oh boy. But I'm not going to say who set somebody up because, you know, I don't want to get sued there. But there are videos of people approaching Offset in casinos and him saying, nah, keep your distance. I don't want to do photos because he doesn't have security with him. And now you see how that turned out for him. It's not good if you're getting shot there. Let's do the main event. Shout out to No Government Name for dropping those right there. And he also says, I've noticed as I've traveled to multiple countries, men with Asian women smile the most, especially white men with Asian women. All right. White men with Asian women definitely going to be cheesing and grinning. They always smiling, and Asian women do give you a reason to smile. There's something about them. And I think it's more catered to, there's a variety of things that Asian women bring to the table that people find endearing and feminine about them. Now, there's stuff that happens behind closed doors that makes it difficult with Asians for sure. But I think it's they are probably considered the most neotenous and feminine women. They tend to have that characteristics mainly because they're small. They're not large. They tend to look younger. They are what you call neotenous. They keep their childlike or youthful features longer. They're not overdeveloped. They tend to have smaller, meeker voices, especially when they're outside. They tend to be shy and introverted, but they definitely have some personality issues. They have some personality issues that you have to get. They're not perfect. All right. So they have that. And a lot of guys that don't like that build typically won't deal with them, but you're giving up overdeveloped women with bad attitudes as opposed to smaller developed women, maybe with some flat asses that ain't going to give you a headache. All right. But they definitely have some other issues once you get close to them and behind closed doors that will become very apparent. But I think what attracts people to them is those things. Now, people are then going to say, well, that's because you're a metaphile and you like younger women and women built like kids. And they're going to come up with all kind of bullshit to overcompensate for the fact that you're an ornery bitch and you have a bad attitude and you're overdeveloped and possibly fat. Okay. You're possibly fat, overdeveloped, soggy ass titties, right? You peaked when you were 14. Now you are overdeveloped and them titties is hurting your back, drooping all over to your belly button and navel. All right. And you got a bad attitude. You're horrible. You're a feminist. And now I got to put up with that instead of getting with this small Asian petite woman that sounds like this when she talks. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. And they tend to want to get dominated in the bedroom. And it's fun dominating them because they can't put up much of a fight. All right. So, so it kind of tells you what they want. They'd be in there getting dominated. They're like, well, I got to let him do what he does to me. Okay. Meow, 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 meow. They'd be like, meow, meow, meow. All right. One of my Linglings, Wasabi Baby does that. She'd be like, meow. She just does that. And I'm like, that is so funny that you do that, that you meow to me. But she literally meows to me. She'll be like, meow, meow. She'll go like this and paw at me and go, meow. I'm like, if you realize how much of a joke that is to my community, that you literally meow to me, that's like the funniest shit. All right, I'm going to record her doing it one time. But when she's just sitting there, she'll just look at me and go, meow. All right. And I'll be like, yeah. All right. When she meows, I'll be like, I guess you're ready. It seems like you're ready.
Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
That's the wrong sound effect. All right. I meant to do this sound effect right here. All right. Where is this one right here? Okay.
I like to get dominated.
That's what I meant.
I like choked, whooped, spanked, told what to do. I need a man to take charge and let me just, be goofy.
All right. Anyway, that's the right one. Shout out to Macaroni Tony. Slow Mac this hen all 8th grade year just for her to get smashed, to smash the star cornerback in the bathroom on the last day of school. So that was going back to what I was saying earlier about most of the time you don't realize that these girls that you think are the good girls end up getting smashed in the bushes and you was over there slow pimping her and it broke your heart. Broke your heart. All right, I'm going to check the PayPal ecclesiastically before we continue. There's a small main event. We just chilling today. Small main event. Thank you for the people who've contributed so far. And Hardin says JUCO trying to renegotiate backdoor relationship. People have to realize the JUCO backdoor relationships are real. All right. But you do have to realize where they come from. All right. And not to say you can't have a good relationship with one. I think you could, but they're always in play. Remember, JUCOs don't JUCO for very long. They're going to do it for a short amount of time and possibly rest. It's kind of like when pimps get their last hoe and she was a good bottom bitch and that's the last hoe, he'll give up pimping, all right, and marry her. All right, so it happens. It happens all the time. Let's see here. We got the main event. Let's ring the bell. We'll do it really quickly here. We have Ari Lennox back on the show. For white people that don't know, Ari Lennox is a singer, if I'm not mistaken. It's not Annie Lennox. That's the one from the Eurythmics. All right, but this is Ari Lennox. I recently featured her on another story. I can't even remember what the story was right there. All right, but I believe it was probably her wondering why she doesn't have a relationship. But this is Ari Lennox, as you can see here. She definitely has different looks. Okay, body is T, as they would say. Body is T. Okay, very strong built. People will say this is a masculine build and this and that. I see that, like if you're going to date Asian and Latino women, they typically aren't going to be this build. Black people have a superior genetics physically. So the women are going to tend to have genetic ability to look like this, especially if they take care of their bodies. Broad shoulders, develop latissimus dorsi, nice trapezius areas right there. Could be nice abdominal areas. This could make them broad shoulders. This can make them look masculine. Then if they take on masculine characteristics like independence, strength, dominance, incorporation, and they're going to look like a man really fast. So that's the difficulty. And then if they start wearing makeup and shit like that, they're going to look like a transgender. All right. So, all right. So there you see it right there. But that's typically just genetics at play. Can't really defeat genetics. You can see here, she has strong shoulders here, strong neck. Look at his neck. All right. Look at the neck area right here. She definitely looks like she could be a wrestler with this neck. But she does look good. She does look good. And that's definitely not a good picture of her. Not very flattering picture of her right there. And it's not going to be not taking flattering pictures when you're taking pictures straight ahead. All right. You're never going to look flattering there. You want to definitely take pictures at angles to look a lot more realistic there. So her body is definitely great. She has a good body. Her face, not so much. All right. She's definitely not. I wouldn't consider her ugly. She just has strong features that don't lend to typical beauty standards of our European American areas. But she's okay. She's a good looking woman, all glammed up there. All right. But Ari Lennox had this to say related to why she has not had success in relationships in particularly. And this is a tough talking point that I've heard this a lot when it comes to dating and women. We don't have the video, so we're going to have to read this real quick. Ari Lennox says she thought that her accomplishments would attract successful men, aka Kevin Samuels' high value men, but it actually does the opposite. Quote, according to her, and I just realized, wow, I think it deters them. It intimidates them. Okay. Ari Lennox opens up about her dating experience as a successful music artist, but it was not at all what she expected. Lennox sat down with At Poor Minds and speaks of how surprised she was to find out that all other successful men may not be looking for successful women. And indeed, right here, instead of being interested in her accomplishments and investments, they seem to minimize them. And I misread that a lot, but this is definitely some mistakes in here. I misread some things here. You see at this At Poor Minds, you see there's some mistakes here. They left out a word here. So I made some mistakes, but they definitely made some mistakes here in this caption. And I actually responded to this right quick. Intimidation is a misused term. When women say that men are intimidated by women, I think this is a misrepresentation of what's going on. I don't agree that men are intimidated by women that are successful per se. Now, I can see why they would arrive at that, but using the word intimidation as a cope, it is actually a way to deflect away from what she should have learned. All right. You should have learned that opposites attract more than likely than they same qualities attract. So let's just take a man that is a titan, as Obsidian calls it. I believe Obsidian calls it a master of the universe. All right. There's a group of Black manosphere people call them the masters of the universe. If you're a masters of the universe, you typically are not going to pair up with a high accomplished woman. Now, there are cases that's the case in upper crust society, blue blood society. All right. You will find that upper class elite will pair up with, a lawyer will date a lawyer, or they'll marry, but it'll be business. It won't be love or romantic. These people will send their kids off to fucking a school off in the middle of Massachusetts. What do they call it? A boarding school, military school. It's not love. It's a business arrangement. All right. This is definitely going to be more centered around a business arrangement. You're not going to have ecclesiastical love. You might have them have a wonderful love experiment, but they're going to have kids out of test tubes and IVF and surrogates. They might fuck here and there, but they're going to have their affairs. She's going to sleep with the fucking plumber and the electrician. He going to sleep with some fucking cheerleaders. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to be the romantic love that we're thinking about. So when people say, yeah, there are couples like that, you're going to find that they're highly oriented towards both of them completing their mission in life, which is their purpose. Okay. It's going to be a business marriage. It's not going to be a romantic marriage, or it's not going to be that man was attracted to those qualities romantically. They looked at it and said, this would be best for our family lineage to link up in this sort of arranged marriage. All right. But it'll be War of the Roses. It'll be, it won't be romantic as you think. There's going to be people, affairs, cucking going on, swinging. And this one here, Typically, men who are masters of the universe are attracted to feminine women. That's the opposite. Opposites attract because there's a role that she's going to play. He doesn't want to compete with her, or he doesn't want her to feel that she needs to compete with him. That's typically how it's going to go. As you would see, as men become more accomplished, they start asking for women to be more feminine and submissive. They start making decisions to find more feminine, submissive women as they become more accomplished or wealthy. All right. So you will see men become password bros. They get their money. That's I'm going to take my money and go over here and go get what I want, as opposed to negotiate with these, highly competitive women that are here in America that are honorary and not going to submit and cook and clean. Let me go find some women over here, dirty feet women in a third world country that will more likely complete this task. And they'll buy into that. Now, people can shame them for it, but that's what they want because they think they deserve that. They're not intimidated by these women. They're turned off by them. They don't want to compete with them. I don't think I want a relationship where I compete with a woman. I don't find that to be endearing. Some women think men want to compete with you. They think men want a challenge. I played videos of women in their 40s saying, I thought men wanted women to be bitchy and challenging. What we want is, this is what men want. Ladies, if you really want to know, this is what men want women to do right quick. And here it is.
Can you shut the fuck up?
If we want to be real, this is what we want women to do.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Now, I know that's misogynist, but that's really about sums it up. We don't want to compete. We don't want to be challenged by you. We don't want. Now, there are some men that do. They want bitchy women. All right. That is true. But these are typically not accomplished men. Although accomplished men do typically want to be dominated by, bitchy women, but they'll pay for that service in the hotel room. They'll get the BDS woman with the whip and she'll walk over his stomach and back with high heels and she'll put nipple clamps on the nigga and he'll be a CEO or a church pastor. All right. We know that happens because that's not going to be his wife, though. That's not going to be his wife. All right. That's going to be some shit that he wants, some fetish shit. But what men typically want is,
can you shut the fuck up?
That's about it. So when the opposite occurs, a woman is ambitious. She wants accomplishments. She wants to be titan of the industry. She wants to be mistress of the universe. What she typically is going to attract are weak, subservient, non-accomplished men. Now, she might want accomplished men. She might find accomplished men might consider her, but what she's going to attract are bum-ass niggas. Niggas that say they want to date women that got their own money. Niggas that say they want women to spend money on them. Men that say they want to live up under a woman. Men that move in women's residences. Bum ass niggas that try to run game on accomplished women and tell me that that's where it's at. These are dirty sock Nike slide ass niggas. Instead of dirty feet women in third world countries, you got dirty sock Nike slide his dick through the boxer hole ass nigga, and he's going to tell me how much he's winning. Now, what we know is these women might be attracted sexually to these men. They don't want to be with these men long term because they found that they don't want the pretty princess. They don't want this guy riding in the passenger seat. They don't want her jumping out, pumping gas while he's sitting in a passenger seat slumped. They don't want this man driving her car around while she's at work. So she'll date guys like this for a long time. She'll make use of the guy, but ultimately all women are oriented to high successful men. Who they end up with doesn't represent what they typically want. They think their accomplishments are going to put them in line for high tier men. We've seen Lizzo go through this. We've seen the white woman that's married to LeBron James's agent. She's a singer. She has Adele. You've seen Adele even go through that. She had a weaker male, a non-accomplished male, and it didn't work out. She kicked him to the curb and got a higher accomplished male. And she lost weight to put herself in that position. And she had to date a black guy because she's a chunky white woman. And that's the way she got it. She got rid of the weak white boy, non-accomplished white boy, and went for a black guy that wanted an overweight white woman that was accomplished. All right. And then she got a nigga that says, hey, he got money. That's what Travis Kelce did to Taylor Swift. So you have that mindset. But what women want are high tier men across the board. They're not satisfied with bum ass niggas, even when they're highly accomplished. So what she discovered is at her age, and let's look up her age, Ari Lennox age. She's 35 years old. All right, 35 years old. I'm going to go ahead and say in my Tommy Sotomayor voice, that's a hard 35. Okay. That's a hard 35. And look at Obsidian there with the laughing emoji on the what do you call it? The refresher. What do you call it? Where you reshare it. That's a hard 35. Who agrees? Who disagrees? That ain't an easy 35 looking. That's not easy on an eyes 35. I definitely would have put her in her 40s. The repost. Obsidian with the repost there. But what she's saying is, oh, I thought men would actually be attracted by. I thought successful men would be, my accomplishments would be attracted. Successful men, reading with CGA. Okay. I thought accomplished men would be attracted to my accomplishments. No. Across the board, no. What you found out was it actually does the opposite. Bum niggas are attracted to accomplished women. This is typical. This is typically the case. Even bum niggas will have a strategy to go after successful women. And they will cope all day long. It's the thing to do. Women buy me shit. They spend their own money on me. They spend 50%. She actually likes you. She'll spend her money. That's a bum nigga strategy, but it works for bum ass niggas. Hey, listen, I know you want to brag about it, but that's a bum nigga strategy. You're finding accomplished women and putting up with their bullshit, fighting them because they got a fat ass and they are accomplished. That's bum nigga activity. What she spends 50% of the money on. She pays 50% of the bills. She buys me gifts. She pays for the travel. This is bum nigga shit. But do you? But she even finding out this. She's like, I'm dealing with bum niggas. This is when bum niggas approach corporate women and run game on them. And then think they're winning, but then get kicked out of her house and he walking out with a trash bag. She bought me a PS5. What about the whole tax season is here? I'm going to get a PS5. It's tax season. She's going to co-sign for my Dodge Charger. All right. So these are all bum niggas activities. These are unaccomplished men using women to kind of fill the void of their lack of accomplishment. Lack of accomplishment. And this is what she's attracting. And she is not happy about it. She is actually surprised about this. Why are you surprised? I'm not happy. Why are you surprised? This is definitely par for the course, especially in the nigga community. Par for the course. Both of you guys deserve each other. There was a great movie that I always reference that literally shows this. And the movie is called Disappearing Acts that demonstrates this. All right. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast hanging around. The West Coast people get favor in time right now. Disappearing Acts and Sanaa Lathan and our brother here, legendary actor. I love this guy as an actor, by the way. He's one of my favorite actors. And his name is Black Ass Wesley Snipes. All right. So Black Ass Wesley Snipes is a legend in the acting game, by the way. He is an underrated actor. I know people celebrate him as an actor, but that guy does not get the credit he deserves. I mean, Blade, Passenger 57. He had some movies with Lings. He had Murder at 1600, Nino Brown in New Jack City. I mean, he's had some legendary roles, and people do not bring him up when they talk about top actors. He's one of the best to do it. Black ass Wesley Snipes. All right, so Sugar Hit Man, Wesley. What about Jungle Fever? I mean, Wesley Snipes is one of the best actors to do this shit. He should be always up there mentioned for one of the best. Money Train, shit. Wesley Snipes got it going on. Shout out to black ass Wesley Snipes. And he had Jennifer. Did he have Jennifer Lopez? He was out there bending over Jennifer Lopez at one particular point. I mean, he been out here doing his thing. All right, but there's a great movie here that you want to reference here. Demolition Man. What about Demolition Man? I mean, dude, legendary shit. What about White Man Can't Jump? White Man Can't Jump, Demolition Man? Come on, bro. He Hall of Fame. He is Hall of Fame actor. He needs to get his just due. Okay, and he never really plays the stereotypical black man. All right, he always playing somebody said a wide range of films where he doesn't play the same character over and over again. All right, he plays a different character all the time. All right, so anyway, we have this is a movie about a highly educated woman. I believe the setting of this movie is the DMV. All right, which is the DMV area, Washington D.C., Baltimore, Maryland area, Virginia area there, the DMV. The movie is about, it's a Terry McMillan book, but it's about a blue collar worker with a highly successful corporate black woman and how it worked out. And it was a disaster. All right, let's just say that. It was a disaster because there was a culture clash. Okay, there was a culture clash because people think race helps people connect, and I believe it does, but we have to understand that class plays a role in it. So if that people are in different classes based on their education, their career, their job status, wherever they live, suburbs versus the urban city, just because you're black doesn't mean it's going to work. What'll happen is you have a clash of classism that makes it hard for you to get together. And they got together romantically. They were able to tackle that. But you did see, according to this book, Terry McMillan, feminist writer, that the man was intimidated by her career. All right. And he could not deal with the fact that she was a career woman coming home late. He had to wait for her to come home. And that led to a lot of drama and fights. The disappearing act was set in Brooklyn. Are you sure about that? All right. I might be wrong. I don't have the information here. It's been a while since I've seen the video here or the movie. Yeah, you're right. Maybe, yes, it was in Brooklyn. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. But I thought it was in DC, but there you go right there. But that was one of Sanaa Lathan's breakout films. And it showed the difference between the classes there to where they could not get together and make it work based on the class culture clash. This is kind of represented here in this argument by Ari Lennox, where that highly successful woman could not find a man on her level. So she had to go ahead and settle for the man she was sexually attracted to, although I think he worked as a trash man. All right. He worked as a trash guy. And they had a good, passionate sexual relationship, but they could not get the relationship on board. All right. Anyway. Yeah, man, I think there's a problem with that. And unfortunately, I think women realize it where it's too late. Women will say in their 40s, I thought men like bitchy women. Yeah, I think there are a group of men that like bitchy women. These are typically bum niggas. And not all men are bums that deal with bitchy women, but they're typically not going to be masculine, not going to be leaders. They're going to get frustrated by these men, although they might have a good sexual relationship and they might kowtow to her and be submissive to her. And she might like that. Well, across time, the relationships are not going to work. All right. Because she's going to see him as subservient and she's going to belittle him and he might deal with it because he has no other choice. She was his best option. And so he'll hang on to her. And then she'll like, but why don't these accomplished men want me? Accomplished men typically going to be attracted to something opposite. Typically, not always, but typically it's going to be the case. And then when you compare the fact that there's more women than men, there's more women that are more educated than men, or specifically with the black woman and black men, they are more accomplished. Those women tend to wear those degrees and accomplishments as a badge of honor, where the men are somewhat subjected or disenfranchised or not encouraged to get education, or they don't pursue it. Well, then you're going to have a problem here. The numbers aren't going to math. The math aren't going to math. Larry C can't even put that math together. There's going to be so many women left out of finding a person that is higher tier or higher value, or they're going to have to be a sugar baby or a side chick to a higher tier woman, to a high tier man, which women are doing. They're going to end up being a side chick, a sugar baby like a Claudia Jordan or allegedly or something like that. And then they'll do that for many, many years. And then they'll end up kicked out or nothing to show for it, not ability to divorce the guy. And it just will be a wasted money. Or they'll come back and these women will find weaker tier men at the end to brag that they found a guy. So it's a very difficult situation. It's a conundrum. I can't solve it because most of the time, by the time women realize this, it's too late. All right. You can't get to the chopper. All right. Get to the chopper. It's too late. Can't get to the chopper anymore. All right. You're kind of out there. You're stuck. And you're going to have to make do with your life with what's left. Okay. And not to say that it's going to be all bad. She can make a good life out of this. All right. But if she still continues to desire at age 35, desire high term at 35, and you look 42, no, you're going to have problems. You're going to be Claudia Jordan at 52 talking shit. Right? Why these men don't want successful, high degree, accomplished women. You can go for it. I mean, keep going out there playing that. And you will eventually have a guy come out here and play that role for a period of time. And then he going to pull the rug up under your fucking feet. And you're going to realize you're a side chick. That's what happened to Claudia Jordan. She came on here to brag about her nigga. Meanwhile, her nigga was fucking his ex-girlfriend on Valentine's Day. And Claudia Jordan thought she had the guy in her pocket. And she then realized she was the side chick on Valentine's Day. And the main chick was getting her lungs squeezed. She don't play that role. Play that role if you want. But that's what they're going to have to deal with. And they're going to have to then come out into the world. What I don't like is they come out to the world and they browbeat us with this bullshit and try to make us feel bad for them putting themselves in this position. I did comment on this. Show that Chiza Azed commented on this. But this was my comment. Intimidation is an often misused term. The reality is men don't benefit much from women's accomplishments the way women benefit from men. Men are often cast to the side because of these so-called accomplishments with little benefit at all, especially if he's a loser. So that's kind of the synopsis. Yes, women accomplishments can be nice, but what does the man benefit from those women's accomplishments as compared to if the man's accomplished more than the woman, she's going to highly benefit directly from those accomplishments. But if I date a woman that has accomplishments, I'm going to lose out. That means I got to share her with the world. She's going to go work late. She's going to have to travel for work. I'm going to lose. She's not going to contribute directly to me. I'm going to still have to be the leader and the man, and she's going to still expect me to contribute and shower upon her, and I'm not going to benefit as much directly from the accomplishments itself as opposed to her. She's going to benefit directly from the accomplishments. So it's not something that successful men look at it as go, yeah, I want that. I want that. I got to do chores with her. I got to split it. So that was my synopsis of the situation. Yeah, you can be accomplished, but men that are accomplished don't benefit directly from women's accomplishments the way women benefit from men. I'm going to be cast aside. I'm going to have to wait for her to come home. I'm going to have to cook her dinner. I'm going to have to run her bubble bath. All for her to say I got a headache and my feet hurt and I can't fuck tonight and she can't suck my dick. And I got to wait for her to come home at 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. And I'm like, well, I got to go to sleep early. I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. And she's like, I got clients today. Who wants to wait for that? Like me, I don't want to do that. That's not an intimidation. What that is I don't benefit directly. Just because you're paying the bills, well, that's nice. You put in for some money. Just because you can, like for instance, would that accomplished woman that make good money co-sign a car for me? She'll co-sign a car for a bum nigga. But when I say, hey, can you chip in 10K? Most of these accomplished women will be like, no, I'm not a bum ass nigga. So they'll be like, I don't see that. She'll be turned off about that I actually approached her about that. But a bum nigga doing it, she'll beg and plead to the symphony and she'll finally relent only for the car to get repossessed and her credit to get ruined. All right, that happens. All right. Let's do the last super chats and get up out of here ecclesiastically. Anyway, I don't typically find accomplished women something that I want to deal with. And then they talk about work all the time. They talk about work and what happened at work and all of this shit. I don't want to have just.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Who cares? I don't care what happened at your job, your work. You're going back to school. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to pick up this certification.
Can you shut the fuck up?
I don't care. There's a job. I know how to do this. I can look this up. I can help you with your. Shut up, bruh. Shout out to Preston says these women are lying. They never thought this. They were bucking the system and it just failed. That's a great synopsis too. You're saying they were hedging their bets. They were trying to see if it was going to work out. All right. And it didn't work out. And now they're trying to backpedal, or they're trying to blame us for not. These men just don't want to deal with a woman like this. They're intimidated by us. Nobody's intimidated. I don't think men are intimidated by that per se, unless he's less accomplished. But I have accomplishments more than this YouTube shit. I got degrees. I got a master's degree, so I can be your master. I have education. So I'm not just some regular nigga. I had a career. All right. I've accomplished things outside of the social media game. I've accomplished things within the social media game. I've established a nice little business outside of it or related to it, and establishing potential businesses outside of it going down the line. So I look at it and go, what I've done is very accomplished in life. But then when they compare it to them, it's a turnoff. Another turnoff is, this is a major turnoff, and I don't think people realize this. Men typically are givers, women are receivers, even down to how we anatomically have sex. I give to woman. She's the receiver of me giving. All right. I deliver and insert myself into her. That means I'm the giver. She's the receiver. She opens herself up to me. She's the receiver, whether it's her mouth, her booty hole, or her vagina. She's the receiver. Typically, men tend to want to give to women. They want to impress them. They want to show them things. As a man that is in the older age, it's difficult for me to be around women who are similar to my age that has already done things. This is hard to explain, but listen to me. When a woman is already done things and she's traveled, she's flown herself, she's done this shit right here. Where is it right here? Where is it right here?
I've flown myself to Paris. I've done Greece. I've island hopped. I've done all of that.
Especially when you're a young guy and a woman says, I've been here, I've been to Bora Bora, I've been to Australia, I've been here and there, and you're just a young dude and you ain't done nothing, and you haven't been able to save up enough money from your job at Jiffy Lube or Blockbuster Video to be able to travel yourself. What happens is the woman competes against you and she'll say, listen, I've been here and I've been there. She wonder why you haven't been there. Why haven't you been at this restaurant? I've been to this restaurant. I've been to this sushi bar. I've been to this hotel. I've been to stayed here at this resort. I've done this. I've traveled here. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Cancun. I've been to Cabo. And you just a 26-year-old guy. Like, oh boy, like, how do I compete with that? Now, you don't know how she got those, whether her family took her to it, a boyfriend, a sugar daddy, a pimp, she was sex trafficked. We don't know how she got those things, but more than likely, she didn't pay for any of those things. More than likely. Or she went with a friend group to go to those things, right? A girls trip, or they went to Mastro's to go pick up on high tier men, and they went up and ended up at Mastro's. We don't know how she got those things, but more than likely she didn't pay for them herself, especially if she's under 30. But now what she does is she tries to compete against you and tells you, well, you need to go do things. She might even say, I'll take you to some of these things. And then now you're a fish out of water. You're not in the leader position. Over time, she's going to lose respect for you. Similar to when you're older, you're an older man. You have your resources. You want to show a woman a good time. Well, you meet up with an older woman. You ask her, have you been to Fleming's? Have you been to Mastro's? Have you been to STK? Have you been to Bora Bora? Have you been to Paris? Have you island hopped? Have you done this? And she'll say she done all of that. I've been on a yacht. And what she wants is to sit back and chill. Okay. Sit back and chill. She'll be like, wait a minute.
Streets.
Wrong sound effect. Okay. She'll say,
is anybody else just over this hookup culture?
Okay. So now it's hard for now. You got to do balloon rides. You got to come up with an imaginative date. She'd be like, why can't these guys come up with an imaginary date? I've done Cheesecake Factory. I've done this. I've done that. I've ate at STK. I've ate at Emerald's. I've done this. I've been there. I've been to Las Vegas. I've been here. I've been to San Antonio. Now you got to go way above the board and knock it out of the box for her to feel crazy. You got to rent a beach and do like the Bachelor, a private beach with lights and all kind of shit around. Balloon rides, blimp rides. You got to do all kind of crazy shit. You got to go somewhere crazy, dude. And even women that are young, they've been to top level hotel suites. I told you about this. I had a young woman that when I was in the Philippines, and she said she didn't have sandals. She's a very poor woman, but she was like, oh, I need sandals because we're going to the beach. And I was like, okay, cool. So we get there, and then we noticed that in this suite, they had sandals there. So I was like, oh, they got sandals here. And she was like, yeah, but they're always too big. Okay, this woman's 23 years old. This woman's 23 years old. Do you get what she just said? Do you hear what she just said? She basically just said, yeah, I've been in places like this, right? In a penthouse. But she said, oh, they're always too big, though. I was like, oh, so this isn't your first time. All right. And you will find that, yes, by the time a woman's 25, it ain't their first time. This isn't their first rodeo. So I was like, oh, shit. I thought that this was some shit that you ain't done, but apparently that's not the case. All right. Apparently it's not the case. I was like, oh, shit. All right. But this is a woman that is highly impoverished in the Philippines, but somebody took her up to a 5-star hotel at some particular point multiple times for her to realize that the sandals are always too big for her. So that's an example of women seem to be offered these opportunities way more, and then they accomplish them either through their own or through the services of family or other men, their father and other men, so that now when you're older and you want to impress upon a woman, you want to impress her, older women tend to not be impressed by things. You got to go way across. You got to go way to some shit. I know a woman who's slightly younger than me, and she's a girl that's for free, if you will, but she says, oh, she's been to 60 countries. Like, you've been to 60 countries? Like, oh, bro, there's nothing I can do. So we just fuck. All right. We don't dinner date, any of that. She seems to be fine with that particular type of arrangement, and that's all it's going to be. I'm never going to try to take you places. How the hell you been to 60 countries? But she's 47. That's an example of it's hard for men to have the traditional type relationship with women who have done so much. So it's not intimidation. It's like, what can I do for this woman? As opposed to if I date a younger woman, well, I mean, you're going to have to go really young because some of these younger women have these experiences already. Okay. But at least sometimes you're giving them something new. And that's something that, since men are givers and women are receivers, men take pride in giving them. I want to show you something. I want to impress you. I want to give you an opportunity. I want to do something with you that nobody else has done. Why would I go to a movie with a woman that has already seen a movie? Or I already saw that one movie. Okay, I'll take you to go see it again. It's not going to be something that works out. So men aren't intimidated by it. It's just that, what's the point? What is the point? All right. Anyway. And then dating becomes for them one of those things where they're like, damn, dinner in a movie, dinner again. Why don't you just come up with something imaginative? Bitch, you're 35 years old and done every goddamn thing. How much more better can I impress you? They've already rode in Bentleys and Porsches, and you think you're going to pull up in a 911 and a highly attractive woman in her late 30s, mid 30s is going to be impressed that you pulled up in a 911. Most of the times you will find that these women find it to be, he pulled up in a 911. She's not impressed. She actually is kind of like, oh, he think he's somebody because he got that 911, because they've already been in these cars. Because they're highly attractive. They're way past their prime. They've already done it. They've already been in Lambos. I've been in Rolls Royces. I've been in Bentleys. She wants a Bentley on her own. She wants her own Bentley. She's not want to jump in your Bentley at 37. She wants her own Bentley. Her goals is to get her own Bentley. So she's not impressed by no shit like that. Right? And then she trying to undermine you and make you feel bad. Oh, this ain't shit. I've been in a Porsche. I've been in a red Porsche. I've been in a gray Porsche. Oh, I was in a black Porsche just like this last week. She's shitting on you. You're like, oh fuck, that's what we doing. And they don't see that this is an error on their ways. They think that what's wrong with this, or you just insecure. Nah. Somebody said you low key hating on me. You low key trying to trash me and trash my accomplishments. Anyway. Yeah, oh, they've been to sex parties. They've been to swinger parties before 25 and 30. And so they're already establishing that, oh, I've already done this. You trying to impress me with this. This shit ain't working. You're going to have to do better. And leading to you being insecure with it. I know I date guys that got Porsches and 911s and Ferraris. I got that already. I know that. I've been there, done that. Show me something else. And then they wonder why you don't want to date them. Because they're accomplished and got degrees and older. And then the sad part about it, a lot of these women be broke on top of that, bragging about their accomplishments and broke. That's the other part of it. Because then you find out their finances are not in order. All right. The Rich Miles says women are so the R word. He says they're projecting on the men what they themselves are attracted to in men. That's Western women. Western women, and Donovan Sharp used to say that what women ask for in men is what they want for men. So they project onto men what they actually are looking for in men: successful, ambitious, and men that have money or resources. Men don't give a shit about that. Men want silence sandwiches and they're duck sick. Shout out to our brother, Dr. Thunder. That's about right. That's what men want. Okay.
Can you shut the fuck up?
Okay. Most of them be having, broke, college debt, financial problems, repo man coming, foreclosed houses, gas then got turned off. All right. You will find that because women that are accomplished also spend a lot of money. All right. They spend a lot of money. They buy clothes. They get facials and hair done. And it's expensive to be an accomplished woman. In areas where they got to compete in the marketplace, they got to buy suits and they can't wear the same clothes all the time, or they got to find ways to look more successful, red bottom heels if their sugar daddy doesn't buy it for them. So they end up spending a lot more money to compete in these marketplaces where they don't have available resources as they project. So they may be successful. They may be having degrees. They may have high tier jobs. They may be titans in their industry, but you will find that they're also, they don't hold on to resources typically. All right. They will spend frivolously and impulsively, and you're there as the accomplished man to fill that void. So she still needs access to your resources. She'll even pay 50% of the rent, but she still needs accesses to those extras: Botox, lip injections, fillers. Women spend their money on consumable goods. All right, go to Sephora. They are going excited. These are all consumable goods, meaning that they run out and they're going to have to re-up. They typically spend on consumable goods, where men tend to spend on things that maybe depreciate, but they still are there. All right, cars, they're still there. Boats, motorcycles. It might be a depreciating asset, but it's still there. I can still use it and reuse the motherfucker. All right. But women tend to buy things that are going to be expendable and consume and go up in flames. It's kind of like burn a hole in your pocket. So they'll go to places and they'll buy lip liners and sprays and makeup holding mists and Botox injections, shit that's just going to dissolve. All right. And go away to where they got to next month re-up on the shit. Okay. Manicures and pedicures. All right. These things you're going to have to re-up. You're going to have to redo them again. Extensions and box braids and hairdos. These are all things that are consumable. So the money will go there, but you're going to have to pay the fucking subscription fee and do it again. All right. And that's where they're going to run through the money. That's where the money burns through. Breast implants, all consumable. In 10 years, they got to do another set. So the guy that invested in the first set of breast implants that you're paying with at year 7, 8, or 9, them nice titties, she going to have to redo. BBLs, they got to have to redo in 10 years. So that is something that goes away, that needs to be re-upped. And you will find that women are towards the end of their breast implants, they will start to try to lock in and find a new male provider and suitor because they're going to need them new titties redone. And then they'll start to try to lock in that guy, and they'll get their titties redone and go on to the next guy. So you got to watch out from that. Yeah, wigs, lace front wigs. They'll have 50 a closet full of wigs. All right. And they'll need a new wig. They'll need a short wig, a curly wig. All right. A straight hair wig. All right. So consumable goods is what they spend money on. That's where you're going to come in and help them with, even highly successful women. We have a woman in here that has something to say. Tranisha says, I think people are conflating accomplishments with bossy. Not really. But did you know you are subscribed to Meryl Streep's character in The Devil Wears Products? Does art imitate life? I haven't seen the movie, so I don't really know. I don't know. I can't really say what the movie is about. And I probably would want to watch it, but I'm probably going to fall asleep. I'm not good with movies, but that movie probably going to be like watching paint dry. Mr. G says, just join the Money Mindset. Shout out to the Lord of the Lings, Fellowship of the Lings. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining the Money Mindset. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at the value of the Money Mindset. And I would encourage many people to join as well. Not for my own personal reasons, but you're going to find tremendous value in it. You can find it at patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams. And I'm giving you a lot of game and information here this month because we are on the stream Mania. So we'll be back here in the morning with another great stream. All right. And I'm going to be tired and fatigued. Shout out to y'all. We out of here, man. And good night to everybody on the East Coast. Peace.